All right, everyone. Hope you're all doing good today. Hope you're all doing well. It's time for another episode of Speedruns from the Crypt, your bi-weekly horror hotfix. Hope you're all having a great time today. Before we do dive into what we're doing, just for a couple of general GDQ announcements, what's happening around. For one, the GDQ Hotfix will be showcasing transgender speedrunners in our second annual International Transgender Day of Visibility celebration on March 21st and the 22nd. Run submissions are now open from now until March 1st. You can use !TDOV in chat to learn more. As well, if you're watching this on YouTube, hello for one. And two, you can catch up on any of the GDQ Hotfix shows, marathons, and more at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And if you're watching this, well, consider liking the video and subscribing and all that, as it does support the GDQ YouTube channel. Alrighty, so this one I think is probably the most obvious show we've ever done. It's currently February 25th. In a couple of days, a couple of days here, probably one of the biggest horror game releases in the last couple of years is coming out. I think you're all excited for it. I know I'm excited for it. It should be quite interesting. So as a little kind of teaser for it, I decided, hey, Resident Evil runners love their hard modes. We're going to be leading up to 9, so why not go 7, 8? We're going to be having some of the hardest Resident Evil runs ever, really. These are some pretty hard categories, and I just thought it'd be kind of fun to show these off. So it's lead up to Requiem. Anyway, we're going to be having RE7 and RE Village. We'll learn more about that one later, but for right now, let's see just how, mad Resident Evil 7 Madhouse new game is with Captain Ezekiel. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Ek. Hi, everybody. As Ek said, I'm Captain Ezekiel, and we are here to do RE7 again. Again. I think I've done RE7 on Hotfix quite a few times, and I'll keep coming back to do it. I love doing it.
I will admit, it's not Thanksgiving, but it's not every day RE Requiem comes out. So
that is true. I've been waiting very impatiently for that game. So before we get into what we're doing in the category, I'm going to introduce my commentator, who you've probably seen because we've been here together like probably 20 times now. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. My name is Needle. I'm a horror speedrunner myself. And yes, I have commentated 98% of Zeke's RE7 speedruns for GDQ. So I'm very glad to be doing this again.
Yeah, heck yeah. All right, so we're doing Madhouse, and we'll kind of go over the game, everything as we start this first cutscene. Timer will start as soon as I hit OK here, so time can start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. All right, so let's just start with what RE7 is. With the build-up to RE9, we had the 2 previous canonical games, Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8, not including Resident Evil 4 Remake. These games, you'll see by me in Tropes tonight, follow the story of a guy named Ethan Winters, who has probably one of the most small, condensed, and tragic storylines of any character in Resident Evil ever. But the whole objective of Resident Evil 7 is we get this video email here from this lovely lady by the name of Mia Winters, who is our wife. She's been missing for 3 years. And Ethan gets an email that says, hey, come get me. I'm in Louisiana. Thanks. Basically, that's the whole TLDR of the message. And Ethan's like, well, you've been missing for 3 years. Why not? So we take a drive all the way out to Dulvey, Louisiana. That's not a real place. Louisiana is a real place, but Dulvey's not a real place. We go to pick up our wife, basically, and a whole bunch of stuff happens. But Niddle, what's Madhouse all about? Why is the house mad?
Yeah, so Madhouse is a pretty unique category as far as hardest difficulties go in the Resident Evil franchise. So not only are enemies extra strong, not only, essentially every hit will bring us down to critical. On top of that, there's also limited saves, and some of the key items are actually moved around. So you'll be seeing that with the Scorpion key, and because of Madhouse, we use some sort of different strats than we would in really any other category, in the form of a really lengthy and involved out of bounds, which we'll go into depth about that later. But also the boss fights for this category are extremely tight. Like, we're not only pressed for ammo, so all of our shots have to land, but all of the enemies, bosses included, are super fast. So you'll see a lot of that where enemies are just on turbo speed, and and turning around for even half a second sometimes can lead to you getting hit. There's a lot that is out to kill Ethan in Madhouse for sure.
Yeah, Madhouse is definitely a brutal category. It'll mention we have limited saves. In Madhouse, they introduced a cassette saving system very similar to like the original Resident Evil games where you needed ink ribbons to save. But the thing about Madhouse is we actually get like no checkpoints. We get very, very few checkpoints.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, kind of a pretty big deal, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Yeah. So, there's really no checkpoints in the whole sort of intro. There's a couple in the intro, but they're very minor in spots where we're not going to die. But essentially, the first major checkpoint is at the dinner cutscene, and then we don't get another checkpoint until the Lucas section. So there's like almost, 30 minutes, 40 minutes of speed run time where we don't really have a checkpoint that we could use. Yeah, it just makes everything extra dangerous. If you die, you risk going back to your last save. And obviously in a speed run, we are very hesitant to make any safety saves. Although for marathon purposes, Zeke is definitely gonna make a couple.
Yeah, there's gonna be.
Who was that guy that walked by? There was a dude, and he was just kind of meandering. Old Man Jenkins?
Old Man Jenkins. Yeah, that's Old Man Jenkins. So that's actually Jaximus Maximus, so Jack Baker. So Jack Baker is like the primary antagonist of the game. Really, the big bad is Evelyn, but the bigger bad is Jack Baker. He's the actual threat throughout the whole game. There's going to be a lot of situations in which we run into that guy. He's actually everything about this run. Now that I think about it, like he's the crux of a lot of it. We're going to do a retry here on this first checkpoint. So we do get a couple checkpoints here in Guest House. That first checkpoint retry essentially sets our movement speed back to what it was when we were running around outside a little bit. We're not as fast, but we're pretty fast. Otherwise, the game will slow us down pretty badly to like an indoor movement speed. So that retry kind of helps circumvent that, gives us a lot of movement speed back. We're going to do that again a little bit later in Guest House as well. Normally, I would swap FPS, go through that hole. It's not very RTA friendly. Yeah, generally, we would switch FPS on that hole, but it only saves time versus the IGT. It doesn't really save time in the RTA, so sometimes I don't do it in marathons. But the logic of it is we'll switch FPS. There are a lot of places where I will switch FPS in this run, even here during the marathon. For safety reasons, and also it basically makes Ethan able to squeeze past enemies and squeeze through barriers a lot faster.
Yeah, we've always referred to it as Ethan taking a dip in a vat of butter, and he's nice and oily, and then he can just slide past enemies. Really, it has a lot to do with how hitboxes and hurtboxes work in the RE engine, and you're probably familiar with that if you've seen any other Resident Evil run from any game made in the last like 7 years, because they all really have some form of FPS manipulation, and this is a first skip here, huge skip. We avoided the dead body in the water. That's like your first sort of jump scare in the game, and that's one you can do at home. All you have to do is look to the right.
Yeah, that one's pretty nice. Grab our bolt cutters that you'll definitely see in RE9. These bolt cutters are definitely going to be in RE9.
Yeah, there's no shot. Yeah.
Been in every game.
Yeah.
They got to be in RE9. I don't think, were they in 4R? I don't think they were in 4 Remake, actually. I think they might not have been in 4 Remake. But that's not fair. They weren't in the original.
Well, Zeke, you're actually missing something very important about that. They're not just going to be in RE9. They're going to be there twice.
Oh, yeah?
One for Leon, one for Grace.
One for Grace, yeah. You know what?
And they'll be slightly different colors.
And they'll both unlock a yellow lock for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about menuing and inventory a little bit. That's a very big deal. Probably one of the biggest things about Resident Evil 7 speedrunning, and a lot of Resident Evil speedrunning just kind of in general. RE7 has what's called a live inventory, which means when I'm in my inventory, the game is still running. Not very common in the Resident Evil franchise. It's not solely unique to RE7, but it's not present in the other Resident Evil games that have come out since. Basically what this means is anywhere I leave my cursor, that is exactly where it's going to be anytime I try to use my inventory. So the way I have it set up is you'll see me menu and put my cursor in certain places. You'll see me move items around so that I can set up for items that are going to come into my inventory, because our key items, like these bolt cutters, are all stored within the normal inventory. So it shares slots with weapons, items, heals, etc. So the TLDR of that is you'll see me move this little cursor around. You'll see me go in and out of this inventory very quickly a lot for crafting and for using items. But that is a very big deal when it comes to getting, really good times in this game. But right now, what we're doing is we're waiting for her.
I would argue this is the best inventory, and I sort of wish we had more inventories where we could use our downtime to our advantage and kind of like sort our things out, because we do have a lot of downtime, as you'll see in this kind of auto scroller section. So cutscenes are not skippable, as you may know about this run. There are categories that kind of work around that. We do have a cutscene skip category, and there's a no guest house category that sort of cuts out this first 15 minutes of runtime. But in order to like kind of get the full picture and all the strats that really go into guest house, I think it is always beneficial to sort of showcase the strats in guest house, because a lot goes into optimizing just this one 15-minute section. There's like a ton of little things that if any one of them goes slightly wrong, it could, it's time loss, but it also could literally just be death. So yeah.
There's a lot of scary points in this run, quite a few where a simple misstep or just unlucky timing on something called cheap shots could just result in me insta-dying. That's what makes Madhouse so brutal, is that factor of like any little mistake means you could just explode. And I really do mean explode. Like you could go straight from 100 to 0 with a very unlucky combination of attacks or enemy placements.
Yeah. So right here, Zeke is waiting for an audio cue, and we have to wait in a specific spot. We're basically as close as we can be to Mia while still hitting the trigger that we're far enough that she can get taken away. So we kind of wait for an audio cue, and then as soon as we hear it, we know we can go out of the room. And then right there, just dipping into the bathroom really quick, that is to hit another trigger, which then spawns Mia at the bottom of these stairs. So just kind of like being as efficient as possible, hitting these little triggers to progress what is effectively a sort of a glorified cutscene.
Yeah, Guest House is pretty notorious for being kind of like a drawn-out intro. But the thing with Resident Evil 7 speedrunning is what kind of separates, like the top runners from like, not top runners is how well can you do Guest House? Like how consistently can you do this part of the game, this very annoying, drawn-out part of the game? Because while it is a bit of a walking sim for a good majority of it, there are some noticeable skill checks, both with your menuing and with the two boss fights that we're going to do. And one of the boss fights is coming up here in just a moment. We get put down to 1 HP here because even on Madhouse, in cutscenes where you take scripted damage, you actually take even more scripted damage just by being on Madhouse.
By the way, there was your VR moment right there, brought to you by Capcom.
This game was originally meant to be for VR.
Yeah. And you can definitely see it in some of the first-person cutscenes where everything's kind of in your face.
Yeah. We're waiting for Mia to kind of mess up our deposit on this house by banging her head up against the wall. And as soon as she's done, I'm gonna have to do a pretty specific lineup. Well, not really, actually. Madhouse got to get the heals. So I actually don't have to really do the tricky lineup as badly, but I do have to get some heals to avoid dying.
Yeah. And she does basically put you to 1 HP. It is absolutely mandatory to heal up from that. Nice. So the little setup he did there was just to wake her up on time. It's actually a very specific spot that you have to stand. And what you saw Zeke do there was uncap his FPS. And if you see the FPS counter in the upper left, you can see it's in the 600s right now. We need high FPS for multi-hits here. That was pretty good.
It's not bad.
Yeah. So effectively, multi-hitting is something that enemies can also do to us, which is not super great, but it kind of occurs when there's high FPS and specifically with melee weapons, where you can basically get the melee weapon to kind of clip into the enemy's hitbox and count for multiple hits. And you're definitely going to hear it in the Mia 2 fight. But even in that fight, you could kind of hear, I always call it a chunky hit, where you could kind of hear that you're not hitting just once, you're hitting multiple times all at once.
Yeah, it's a very important thing about Madhouse. I will say I do apologize if you do hear some yapping. I do have a puppy I got a couple weeks ago. His name is Bubbles, and he likes to yap randomly. He knew I'd be at Hotfix tonight, so he knew that'd be the perfect time to start doing it. So if you hear him, I apologize. He just likes to do that. Doing the second retry there for the movement speed again. That's again the same logic we did as one we did here at the very beginning. And this is going to be kind of an example of why setting up inventory is really important. So we can get this instant interaction on this and for the fuse box here in a moment.
Oh, there's our wife. Oh, and she's gone. Yeah. So some of the little interactions here, like switching over to get the fuse in, and sort of the way that the axe is set up in the inventory, all of that is critical to this run. Setting up your inventory in advance is sort of key to the game, and you'll see, especially later when the inventory gets super crowded, and Zeke is essentially crafting ammo on the fly during downtime, that it's sort of important that everything is in the specific spot that he knows it is.
Yeah, it all plays a big part, not only just saving time, but also like there'll be moments where I'm using items around enemies and making sure I can get that item out and done instantly before I get, beat up pretty badly is a very big deal. And also, if you've seen Resident Evil 7 speedruns in the past, you might be used to the censored version of the game, because that's kind of what a lot of us ran for the longest time. We're playing on the uncensored version of the game, which is the normal version you would have played when you bought it on Steam. Historically, the reason for that was the censored version saved about half a minute, and then Microsoft released a patch for Windows 11 that broke that version of the game, and we needed to figure out a way to circumvent it so people could actually play the game going forward and keep speedrunning it. So we kind of made a rule that balanced out the timing methods between that censored version, otherwise known as Sero D, and the Steam version. So you can run any version you want now.
Ultimately, I think a great change for the longevity of the run. Also, you saw a quick little safety save there. Wouldn't be a thing in a PB attempt, but obviously in a marathon, we don't have any checkpoints since the last time we retried. So yeah, we're not trying to go back to there.
But the meat right here.
Yes, so you're going to see Zeke, he's going to heal, and he's going to line the axe up with that little dot on the wall, and then he's going to crouch into Mia's hitbox and sort of clip into her leg. And you heard that hit. He got, a good dozen plus hits off on that first hit, and then 2 more hits to clean her up, and she's dead.
It wasn't too bad. Actually, that first hit was really chunky, but the second hit was pretty not chunky. But otherwise, not bad. Honestly, when you first run Madhouse, or a lot of people, even veteran Madhouse runners like myself, you're kind of just happy not to die a lot of the time. Like, it's really, really good to just not die, because Mia goes off the rails really, really fast. She has a lot of instant kills and very sporadic movement that makes her kind of a pain. But also, welcome to the family. This is Jack in all of his glory.
I was gonna ask, who's that guy? Welcome to the family, son.
Legendary cutscene. Actually, the legendary cutscene's coming up, but that's a legendary moment. Welcome to the family has got to be one of the most iconic things from Resident Evil just in general. Aside from maybe 7 minutes, right? There's
7 minutes. Yeah,
exactly. There's a whole lot going on. So yeah, that's guest house. Actually, a pretty clean guest house. Not too bad. But now we're coming up on the worst thing. It just ended at that. Just the worst thing.
It is the worst thing.
This is the worst thing in all of the things. It is so horrible. Hallway. So there's this hallway, and there's a key at the end of it. Between me and that key is a tall, handsome man named Jack Baker, and he has a big weapon. Basically, what we have to do is get this key. Ideally, in a normal situation, you get the key, you touch the door, and you get out. We have to try to set something up called wall skip. It's not required. If we don't get wall skip, it's going to make my setup for the autobounds a lot trickier, but not impossible. We're going to try to bait Jack into doing certain things, and we have to rely on RNG for Jack to choose a correct option when we first go down the hallway. If he does, then we can potentially set up the wall skip, which will allow us to basically get Jack to break the wall early. The downside, very easy to die here. Very, very easy to just get absolutely owned. Not even close. It's bad. It can go so wrong.
Yeah, the speed of Jack is a huge issue here, and in a way, it does make the wall skip setup faster if it goes well, but the danger just really never ends. So it's just a constant. You're on edge until you get in that crawl space.
Yeah. Jack gives us a free touch up on our teeth there.
Yeah,
Technically,
cleaning off the plaque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's technically on his cheek, but everyone thought it was in his mouth. Like everyone thought that went right into his.
It makes a teeth sound.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, it makes me wince thinking about it.
Yeah, it's not very pleasant.
There's Grandma. She's hanging out.
Yeah, not important. Don't worry about Grandma.
Yeah, irrelevant character. Mash out of this chair, and it'll go ahead and give us the play-by-play in the worst part of the game.
Yeah, so hallway. You're gonna see Zeke hop out of this chair, and then he's gonna turn the corner, and you're gonna very quickly see the issue. Zeke is keeping his well, you won't see the issue. Zeke is keeping his camera down because this helps manipulate Jack's AI, so we get to look at his boots. So far, this is pretty good. Sometimes he can turn around and instantly swing at you. That is the part of this that is random. Good setup there so far.
Oh.
He was baiting for the overhead, and we did get the wall skip. The potential for death is not over just yet, because right here, so Zeke has to crouch and walk into his legs, and he's actually locked in place for that. He can't move even if he wants to, because what that animation is supposed to be is that's supposed to be the leg chop animation. That's the animation where Jack knocks you on the ground and chops your leg off, and obviously that loses just a mess load of time. But we didn't get leg chop. We got a little beat, but honestly, given how that
good. Like, I'm not
given how that could have gone, that actually saved time, which is that's all you.
That was like an almost other than getting that hit right there, that was almost a perfect wall skip.
Yeah, baiting that overhead hit is really hard. Oh right, so this is another FPS meme, but you saw Zeke. He recapped his FPS after this because from here on we do not need absurdly high FPS. But that little skip he did is called phone skip, and essentially instead of having to go to the door to make the phone ring, the phone just rings when you get into the room, and it saves like 2 seconds. It's not something that we're not splitting the leaderboards over it, but it is a minor time save that sort of adds up in the long run. And just grabbing an extra heal here.
Being a little safe about this because I'd like to avoid any sort of shenanigans.
Yeah, totally valid. So the reason Zeke had to go to the end of that hallway and look at the door is because he was actually hitting a trigger checkpoint that makes the cops spawn in. So you also saw him go around the corner of the kitchen and just kind of like touch that corner wall. And that's the other trigger. And once you do that, the police officer spawns. And Deputy David Anderson, our boy.
He's just doing his job. He was 1 week from retirement.
1 week from retirement.
I hate to see it.
But also he was just deputized. He's a fresh deputy, and he reached the height of his career, and he was like, I'm done.
Also, you might have noticed we're playing in Spanish. Spanish is the fastest language. We historically used to think it was Japanese for the longest time, but then we did some testing and noticed that the Lucas puzzle section that'll be much later in the game was actually a lot faster on other languages and noticeably slower in Japanese and English. So we basically were like, oh, well, let's weigh it against the original time saves and figured out that Spanish was the fastest. And English is still the slowest, but surprisingly, Japanese is actually the second slowest language when it comes to this game. So now we run in Spanish. Well, some of us do. It's only about 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'm of the mindset that I'm so used to it in Japanese that I'm still running it in Japanese. But really, at the world record level that Zeke's at, that second is actually really critical to getting world record. So pocket knife, we're not going to do anything with this.
Useless.
Yeah.
Except we're doing actually
what am I
quite a bit
do with the knife
at the beginning.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like, what world couldn't you get through this tape without this? I don't know. I feel like it's very possible. I don't. Hey, that's just me.
So, Deputy David Anderson on the case. What is that box doing?
It slipped. It moved. You guys saw the box,
Yeah.
right? You all saw it. So Jack 1. Jack 1 is a relatively on rails fight. Definitely the easiest, I would say, of all the fights. He's gonna take a little off the top for our deputy there, and we're gonna grab this gun.
Yeah.
Grab that lockpick because we need the lockpick. Hit this box here. We have to grab the car key because the order in which we have to do this now is we have to grab the car key via that box. I'm going to wait for Jack to come a little closer so I can be safe for doing this. I'm going to slice him 10 times. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shoot him 7 times. And that's Jack 1.
Nice. Surprisingly sort of straightforward fight. Really the hard part of that fight is timing and being able to run around the room, grab all the stuff that you need, and then grab the key and set him up at the door at the correct time. And then we just kind of do that like switcheroo where he goes in the car as we leave it, and then the rest is very straightforward.
Yeah. The difference on Madhouse in that fight is typically the key is just on the table, but because on Madhouse things are a little bit funnier, we have to get the lockpick and then get the key out of the box. It's a funny little thing they added that if you have never played Madhouse and you come to play, you get very surprised when you get here.
Yeah. Yeah, the best parts about Madhouse are, you know, coming from a normal or an easy playthrough and then going to Madhouse, you know, you're expecting certain things to be a certain way, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm familiar with the game, I know the game, and then now you're like picking up antique coins, and you need them for key items to progress the game. So I think they did a really good job sort of keeping it unique.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful for I'm very hopeful for Resident Evil 9's hardest difficulty, whatever that might be when it gets unlocked, because RE9 is directed by the same guy who directed RE7, and he's been known to have higher difficulties that are like that, where it changes more than just difficulty. Because he also made it for Resident Evil Revelations, so it'll be very interesting to see how that turns out. I'm very excited.
Did he make the RE Village one?
Nope, he did not.
Oh no.
Were you gonna say good?
We'll see Village later, and that one's it's hard.
It's a doozy. Yeah. So we're setting up for a very elaborate out of bounds here. It's important that Jack kind of follows us close, but not too close. You're going to see another shot coming up here. That shot into the ground, that's not a misclick. That actually delays Jack's AI a little bit for some reason. And we're coming up here to grab some shotgun shells and the broken shotgun. And the reason for that, we wouldn't have normally done that at this point in Madhouse, but because of the new out-of-bounds route, we're actually able to repair the shotgun way earlier than we otherwise would have. So coming down here, keeping Jack behind us, again, close, but not too close. We're going to do the pendulum puzzle here, and then a little bit of inventory management in the downtime. Again, it's very important that you can do that fast. And then this out-of-bounds setup in specific, where we have wall skip set up, is a little bit more convenient and also faster than the other out-of-bounds setup, where we can risk him busting through the wall at that point. We're going to drop the dog heads off here just to clear some extra room out of the inventory, because in Madhouse we get way more items.
We're going on an adventure right now.
He's on top of it, dude. Blocking also mitigates something like 60-70% of damage in this game, so just a pro tip: if you're having struggles, make sure you're blocking. Getting to the top of the stairs, and he's going to shoot Jack in his leg and squeeze past him, and then line up in a very specific spot on this wall. Jack flips him around, and now we are out of bounds. Now, if you've seen this run anytime in the last like 2 years, there's a chance you haven't seen the craziness that the out of bounds has become. So we're keeping close around the side of the house here, because the specific loads that we want are important. We don't want to load in certain parts of the house that would block us or put us at the wrong height, and we want to load in the staircase so that we can climb the staircase to then do the clock puzzle. Now you're going to see Zeke, he's going to lower his height a little bit by crouching under the house there, and there's a specific reason for that, so he can drop down to here. We are now Smeathan. let it be known Smeathan lives again, and do a little bit of inventory management since there is an item box here. And this safety save is just a really good idea because if we have to load that save, we are still at the same height. So we can still do the out of bounds as we were doing it. Very specific spot on the stairs here that he's going to set up as he runs all the way to the old house. So we are now outside, and we're heading basically to the Marge area. So again, if you've never seen this out of bounds, this is like kind of crazy stuff. And the reason we're doing that is because we are going to get the crow key. We're going to do that early, which means that we don't need to walk past Marge in the kitchen later, which is an annoying spot. There's also some fuel hanging out here in the void. There's some gunpowder as well, which is really valuable. Running over here to grab the backpack now. And once Zeke grabs the backpack, he needs to get back to where he was. But there's a bit of a problem. Like, there's a lot of distance between where we are and where he needs to be. However, fortunately, there's a game mechanic that helps us deal with that in a really sort of clever way. So, oh no, you voided out. Oh, GG, it's all over. Just kidding. It puts you back at the spot where you were last on stable ground, which happens to be right at the top of the staircase back in the main house. So we've effectively warped back to the main house. Z can do another safety save here because, again, if we spawn in, we will still be at this height. We can still execute the rest of the out of bounds as we need to. And he's going to come back around this way. Specifically to change his height here, which is really critical. It's really hard to see, but there's like micro adjustments to height that we're doing here. And the reason for that is we are grabbing some flame rounds and some shotgun shells, and boom, it happens so fast. But we are now in the staircase on the way down to the basement, which this area usually doesn't get unlocked till later, after you do the clock puzzle, sort of when you're on your way to the Lucas section. And that allows us to grab the red key card and a bit more ammo. Again, just kind of like stocking up on resources. Another reason this route is so great is because we used to have a lot of issues in this category with ammo, and you would basically be dependent on certain drops. And if you didn't get those drops, it would almost guarantee a reset, unless you got exceedingly lucky in another spot. And again, doing some inventory management. The broken shotgun is now repaired, which is great. It is the strongest sort of new game weapon that you can have in terms of sheer just damage output. We have to do that door right there. So you saw him put the key in, even though we're not going to be, we're going to be using it later. Normally you would use that key to get in here. If you don't open that door, then you can't get out. And then a quick FPS to clip back in bounds here. And this is probably like, that's the hardest part of the whole out of bounds, because if you mess that up, you have to do the whole thing over again. It's very easy to get stuck in the wall. GG. That was awesome. That was so good.
Pretty good. Yeah, thankfully didn't mess any of that up. And then we go straight into Jack 2. You don't really get any chance to breathe.
Yeah, no breathing room. So opening up here, you're going to see Zeke line up correctly and then go for 4 shots with enhanced ammo to the head, and then 2 more shots with enhanced ammo, and then 2 shotgun rounds. We're going to reload a little bit and wait for Jack to open up this fence, because we do need the chainsaw here. You're going to see 3 more shots to the head, I believe. 4, and then Jack goes down, and now we're going to pause buffer with the chainsaw, which just helps guarantee that we can do enough damage to get Jack down. Nice. There we go. So basically you're waiting for him to crouch like that, and that is Jack 2.
Nice. That all went very well, actually.
Yeah, that whole section, that like 3 or 4 minutes is just like so cram-packed with height things. Like between making sure your height is correct and like, you know, lining up correctly so that you load in the right areas. Like it's just, and then all the stuff that you have to pick up. Like there's like, I don't know, like 8 unique item pickups during the out of bounds route, which is just crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on during that fight that can make it pretty stressful. And like that whole section just in general, because if you miss a single thing, if you misstep, like there was moments when out of bounds where if I had stepped like a step to the right or something, or a step to the left, and it would have thrown me out of bounds and would have actually messed up the entire setup, and I have to go all the way back to the beginning of it. Did not want that to happen. Obviously, that would have been very bad. So I grabbed a backup shotgun ammo. We grabbed one of those sets of shotgun ammos normally, but I grabbed the other one just for safety. Technically, we don't need it for the run, but it helps make the later parts of the game a little bit easier to have with some extra shells. So just grabbed a little bit of extra stuff there as we now wrap up the main house and we move on to the old house, which, because we went out of bounds and went there early, is actually a lot shorter on our pass through here.
Yeah. The out of bounds does help with a lot in this, just in terms of not only, like it purely on the basis that it makes things faster, but also it avoids certain dangers and certain time losses and potential issues that we would have to worry about otherwise. So overall, it's a really sick out of bounds, and it's relatively recent as far as the lifespan of this game. That sort of new out of bounds route was only found, a year and a half ago?
Yeah, something like that. Like actually not that long ago. It was only recently ever showcased on GDQ because I ran this exact category for Summer Games Done Quick 2025. I'm getting ahead of myself. I ran this category.
You're gonna run it again. Come on.
We ran this category. Little was on my couch and everything, and it's where we first big time debuted the change of this out of bounds and the change in the routing that had happened for this game.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Sal.
Shout outs to the Demented Side. He did a lot of work in making this viable and figuring out how to actually make it work correctly.
Yeah. The time span between knowing all the weird things that we can do out of bounds versus actually finding something useful is just crazy, from this game's release to now.
Yeah, absolutely. As you can see, now we have the grenade launcher. You get this much earlier on Madhouse than you do on Easy. You get it right there in the trailer just for funsies. So now that we have it, it's going to play a pretty big part in how we go through the old house, specifically with Marguerite. But its nice benefit is that we also get to destroy nests with one shot, and specifically these two nests that are right here, we get to just pop with one grenade launcher shot. A lot of the routing we did earlier, crafting and decrafting and item pickups, were actually revolved around not only the shotgun ammo, but also getting grenade launcher ammo. Because we actually need quite a bit of it for this run. I do not know how that door is closed. I've never had that door closed in my life.
You failed God door.
Yeah, that door did not want me to go through. Marge did some really nice things here.
If you've played in the other difficulties, you probably know that in order to get the grenade launcher, it's usually you have to go sort of out of your way to get it, and in a new game easy run, we wouldn't get the grenade launcher until way later in the run. Although I guess not anymore, because you could technically get it early. But under normal play circumstances, in a normal speed run, you probably wouldn't be picking up the grenade launcher. But because of Madhouse, they give it to you early, which is just kind of a huge benefit in this section, because
you really need it, honestly. I don't know how you would normally get through this that easily. Casually going through it, it would be such a pain to try to go through this without it.
The nests take so much ammo. I mean, it would be out of the question to use shotgun ammo. Pistol ammo is barely going to do enough damage, and we need all the enhanced ammo. So it's kind of without the grenade launcher, we'd be pretty screwed.
Yeah, thankfully we have it. And now we're coming up on grabbing the crank. Now this is something we technically could grab while we're out of bounds, but the reason we don't grab this is because it actually soft locks the game if you grab this out of order at all. It's very, very finicky. It's a hard trigger checkpoint in the game of grabbing that crank. So unfortunately, we do have to still come down here to grab it. However, now we have the Marge 1 boss fight, which is actually probably one of the easier boss fights. Just a little bit trickier than Jack 1 because we have to hit some more precise shots. But Marge 1 is simply just like a rhythm where I have to hit a grenade launcher shot, 1 enhanced pistol shot, and 2 shotgun shots, and then an enhanced pistol again. I have to break it up like that because Marge is going to stagger after the first shotgun shot. So we want to make sure that we can still shoot her before she falls all the way back. So that's going to be kind of the rotation on this. You'll notice it goes by pretty quickly, assuming I don't miss, that is.
You never miss these. I've never seen it. Nice.
And down she
goes. There's a few different ways that you can get her down, but the main key is that she doesn't stagger back like that. As long as you can get your shots off fast enough that she doesn't stagger back, it's generally good. right now we are learning about the ingredients that we are trying to collect in the house, which is kind of critical to curing our wife and potentially Zoe.
We need to get an arm and a head, which are two very obvious normal ingredients that you would need to.
Yeah, I got those right over here.
Yeah, just don't you guys have an arm and a head just hanging out in your place?
Yeah. I don't know about GC. I think I got C series, but yeah, I got one of those.
Ooh, it's not as good.
Yeah.
The vitamin D ones, not the vitamin C ones. We're about to do a skip here in a second called Lantern Skip. So normally what the game wants me to do is to go down there, see the hole, come up here and look at the lantern spot. But instead what we're going to do is we're going to go right over here. We're going to actually look at it through the floor. Then the wall is going to disappear down here. We're going to do a little bit of a lineup. And we're going to walk off. And we land correctly. Basically, this skips us having to go all the way up and around and coming all the way back down. Saves about 15 seconds. Pretty nice little time save, honestly.
Yeah, there's like 3 different ways you can fail that. All of them are generally not good, but like they're varying degrees of not good, where you can lose anything from, like 8 seconds, 10 seconds to only like 3 or 4. So it's kind of a weird finicky skip that you have to learn.
We're going to make a safety save here. Typically, we don't really need to at Marge, but I just want to be extra cautious, make sure we don't die and end up way further back than we want to be.
Yeah. Again, yeah, the last, we've made a few safety saves, but had we not made those safety saves, the last actual checkpoint, inventory is a little full. The last actual checkpoint was at the dinner table. That was the last checkpoint in Madhouse. So, yeah, I think anybody who's ever attempted to speedrun this, blind it without realizing what's going to happen, has had the unfortunate circumstance of, dying at Marge 2 and then going back to dinner and being like, oh, man, I'm not ready for seconds, that was pretty rough.
Yeah, it's super brutal, but here we have Marge 2.
Yeah. So opening up with a flame round and then 2 shotgun and then 10 enhanced at the window. And then Zeke's going to come down around and wait at this corner for a little bit, reload everything that he can. Pistol to knock her down here. And then he's going to reload his shotgun and shoot her nest until it breaks. And then next is going to be another shotgun to get her off the wall here. And all the while, we're trying to keep the uptime on these flame rounds here. Just because flames actually do damage over time, so we're trying to keep the uptime on the dots, essentially. And here, she will spawn in the ceiling, and she'll actually wait for as long as we need to reload all of our weapons and get everything ready here. And now there's going to be kind of a little bit of a dance as we just switch between the shotgun and these flame rounds, and also avoiding some of her hits. And in certain animations, she actually has these iframes, so we don't want to kill her when she's on the floor or on the wall. So this is all sort of setting her up to have low HP so that we can just finish her off with the pistol, and that's the Marge 2 fight. She's dead.
Dead.
Yeah. Really good.
Yeah, not a bad fight. Took a couple extra shots there with the enhanced, but not really a big deal. The only troubling part is our shotgun ammo is not looking amazing, but it shouldn't be the end of the world. I think we should be fine.
Yeah. That fight is it's really, really sort of choreographed, like a dance, with all the timings of where you need to stand and then where you want to be when you sort of stagger Marge. If you're in the wrong spot, she'll crawl off in a weird way. If you're not looking in the right direction, she'll spawn in the wrong spot. So even camera angle and stuff like that, all the way from the start of that fight through to the end is very, very critical. And once she crawls away, it's like a nightmare scenario, because then you got to hunt her down, and odds are you're going to get slapped around for it, and it's super bad if she runs away.
Yeah, Marge.
Yeah, and then she spawns the nests.
Yeah, she spawns nests, which spawn bugs, and you're spending half the fight trying to kill the nests or get away from them. It can be actually just nasty to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, probably one of the hardest fights in this game, casually, I would say. Just you're almost guaranteed starved for ammo at that point.
Mm-hmm. And the game kind of tricks you with her nest, the sack on her body. It appears to be a weak point, which technically it is, but only after you break it. Technically, Marge takes most damage in the head until you break the sac that hangs out in her abdomen. Once you break it, then that takes the most damage. It's a little confusing because most people aren't aware of that. But that is essentially how that works.
Yeah. Grabbing an arm.
Just an aggressive handshake. Eye contact and a firm grip. All right, grab that. Now this whole place is going to fill with molded, which we haven't seen too many of, actually, if at all. But we're going to switch our frame rate down to 30 just to get past this guy, kind of show you what that looks like when we go to 30 FPS. Like I said, we're going to do that a few times throughout the run, but more notably in like these areas with all the molded showing up.
Yeah, so at a high frame rate, he wouldn't have been able to pass by that guy, but at 30, you can just kind of squeeze by, and it's super useful, just for getting through some of the clusters of enemies. That's pretty rough.
Yeah. Yep, there it is. That's a cheap shot.
Yeah, that guy, he's like almost a 50-50, I want to say. Like he's really likely to go for that cheap shot. There's really nothing you can do there. You can't block it. You can't like turn and you know, ninja out of the way. There's virtually nothing you can do because the frame that he does the attack animation is the frame that you get damaged. So and he just instantly lunges into it. So yeah, fun mechanic.
Fun and engaging gameplay, I would say.
Yeah. Coming over here to touch the trailer. And from this point forward, we don't need to answer the phone anymore. We touch the trailer just to trigger the phone call, but we actually don't even need to pick it up. As long as we trigger it, the game hits a trigger and we can progress. But what's interesting is kind of that they just sort of stopped caring that you answer the phone from this point on. I mean, I appreciate it, but it is sort of weird that you're required up until here.
Yeah, it's almost like the guy writing the logic of the game is like, all right, do we really have to keep doing this? Like,
yeah, do we really want
enough.
The player to come back to the phone every time? Come on.
But now you can see we're back at the main house. We're going right back into the basement. We've been here once before. Hi, Grandma. Yeah, she's hanging out. It's cooler down here. It's a little warm up there. I get it. Got a crawler that's going to spawn here, but we're just going to swap FPS to kind of push past him.
Yeah, this guy you basically just phase through at 30 because he's moving forward and you're at 30. Super easy. That's one you can try at home.
It is one you can try at home. And now we have to reach down the cop's neck. Very delicious cutscene, I guess I'll say. This is where you keep your keys.
You know, with the low texture situation we have going on, it's actually somehow worse.
Yeah, right? They really grossed up that cutscene by making it so that his body twitches when you do that.
Yeah. Small time save here. That door does not usually open that fast. You don't usually fling it open. But the way Zeke was standing and the way he interacted with the door lets you push it open fast. So there are actually enemies coming down the stairs like while you do that. It is kind of important in Madhouse that you get out of there as soon as possible. Because as soon as you get that key, a bunch of enemies spawn in and the area becomes very dangerous.
Yeah, it becomes not safe.
Yeah. And then right here, so normally in like a glitchless speed run or in a casual playthrough, this would be the part where you do this section and then you go down to the basement and you get the red key card. But we already got the red key card and we already solved the clock puzzle. So we actually don't need to go in the other side of the main house at all. So we're only going to use the snake key once here to open this door so we can get the blue key card by doing this little puzzle. But we don't need to go to the other side of the house, which is super nice for a number of reasons. I mean, it saves time, obviously, but also that run back through the basement in Madhouse is like just really bad. Yeah,
it's bad. It's really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, they spawn even more enemies, and there's like the four-legged crawlers coming at you, and it's just like, yeah, it's not great. So being able to avoid that is pretty rad.
Yeah, thankfully we just get to avoid it entirely, which is super healthy. Still have to deal with these two guys out here though. These two crawlers are kind of a pain, but thankfully I have a little bit of shotgun ammo, so I can just deal with them pretty easily. The shotgun in this game is very overpowered, super broken. Just kills everything really fast.
Yeah, the biggest threat on those guys are actually their iframes, because when they spawn in, you can damage them, but they can't go below 1 HP. But in Madhouse, they are so fast that we never even really see their iframes. So it's actually, as long as you place your shots correctly, it's actually almost easier to kill them. Whereas in easy or normal, you kind of have to wait. And what's on the telly today?
Your average League of Legends player. This is he has LCS on his hoodie. That means he is a League of Legends player. If you know, you know. And if you watch his behavior, you know it makes sense. But this is Lucas Baker. He's the son of the Bakers, brother of Zoe. He is an interesting character in a way that Capcom didn't come out and make it obvious when you first played through. He just looks like he's also controlled by Evelyn, and that's kind of the way he sells it. But actually, he's not controlled by Evelyn. He does have mold powers, but he's not under the influence of Evelyn's control. He's actually acting of his own free will and conscience. He's actually just evil. I think he's like one of the only characters in this game that is actually just evil.
Yeah, just not a nice dude. Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of revealed in sort of the DLC, and also if you explore around in the main game. But in the Daughters DLC rather. But yeah, we have evidence that Lucas has killed before, like long before Evelyn or any of this ever began. So yeah, just not a good dude. So it's almost like he embraced the opportunity for Evie and all this stuff going down to unleash his inner Jigsaw, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Stole all the TVs from the Baker estate.
That's a lot of TVs. How do they have that many TVs?
I don't know. Yeah.
That's a CRT graveyard right there.
Yeah. Those are the nice like flat screen ones too. Those are good, dude.
Those are Trinitrons right there. Those are nice.
Think of all the VHS tapes I could play on that.
Think about the Super Smash Brothers Melee for the Nintendo.
Yeah.
I could play on that.
Yeah.
Basically, what Lucas is telling us here is like, hey, come get the last ingredient for me. I bet you won't. And then we're like, all right, bet. So we're going to go do that. He blows up another TV because he thinks those just grow on trees or something. We're coming into the boom room. It's what we aptly call this room. It's just a room filled with bombs. And on Madhouse, they put a couple extra ones around that we're going to avoid.
Yeah. A few pickups in here as well. Some shotgun ammo. A green herb. A little gunpowder. Handgun ammo. We don't need that.
I don't need all that.
Yeah. In terms of inventory management, it is also important not to have, like, more than one stack of handgun ammo at any given time. Not that we need a lot of, like, regular handgun ammo. We're mostly using the enhanced. But it is just another thing to keep in mind. Although having that backpack upgrade really does help.
Yeah, the backpack upgrade is actually like incredibly necessary for this run, which is what actually made the Out of Bounds so complicated to figure out, because we needed a way to get a backpack. And Stout spent a lot of time figuring out the whole height thing to make that happen. But now we're going to go into the box here. We're going to dump 2 of the old keys, the crank and the arm, and 1 of the lockpicks, because we need the other one. Grab this shotgun ammo here, and then we're going to wait for that.
Narrowly dodged that dude. I don't know, man. That was pretty close.
That was down to the wire.
Yeah.
We are pretty low on shotgun ammo, so we're kind of in a tricky spot. By tricky, I mean very tricky.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
So I have an idea. It's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea. I think I see what you were going for there.
It's a good idea. It's actually the greatest idea I've ever had. I'm out of there. He's right behind me.
Yeah. That despawns him going in that room, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
We are safe.
Yeah, so there are like a lot of door thresholds that will just sort of despawn all the enemies behind you. Sometimes only temporarily. Like if you go back, they'll come back, but it's sort of very useful. We also needed the the lockpick there to get the what'd you get?
The flame rounds.
Flame rounds. That's it.
We're just gonna do a bit of reloading, put the battery in, pop that box open, hope it gives us some shotgun ammo, truthfully. Now, on Madhouse 2 fat mold that spawned here instead of 1, The method to kill them is pretty simple and straightforward. We need to grab this for some crafting later. But what we're going to do is we're going to narrow around these guys and do 4 shotgun shells spread across both of them and then finish them off with the enhanced ammo. So we're going to wait for this to open and apparently hit myself with it. That's the play.
Nice. It is sort of important how you kill those moldeds because they have like really long death animations depending on how you shoot them. Like if you shoot them in the belly, they kind of just like fall on the ground and then they flop around for a while, and it takes like I don't even know, like 6 or 7 seconds for them to explode.
Okay, man. Okay.
No, no,
Okay.
I'm old. I didn't mean to do that.
Okay.
Oh, I'm old, man.
Okay.
That was not. No.
No, there's no way that wasn't on purpose.
That was not. It was not.
There
I'm
is
so
no
embarrassed, dude.
way. I can't
That's
believe
rough.
it. You think you know a guy.
I'm so disappointed in myself. You don't even know. Oh, jeez.
All right, we're going to put all our items away in a certain order. It's going to matter later when we pull everything back out. And we have to put our stuff away because we can't go in here unless we do. Open this door up. Now we're just close this in. Thanks, Lucas. Grab the...
Have a nice day.
I almost called it a lighter. It's a candle. And now this is where being on Spanish saved us a couple seconds. It's because Lucas swears a lot here, and for some reason it speeds it up.
Yeah, this is a fun little escape room section, like on a casual playthrough, sort of not knowing what happens here and then falling for it and then watching the tape and then figuring it out. Like it's a really fun process, but because we know what to do, we condense it down to just the bare minimum things necessary to complete it, and it's pretty quick.
Yeah, you would think with how many like checks there are in this game to make sure you're doing everything, because our out of bounds is so restricted, you would think they wouldn't allow us to just skip all the solutions to this, but we do.
Right.
Even to the puzzle coming into this room, the keypad, we knew the solution right away, but we had to go do that whole area first before we were allowed to progress.
Yeah. Yeah, what's interesting is on that keypad, when we were first entering here with the code, if you enter the code early, it actually changes the code to a different number from like a set list of numbers, I think. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so it basically refuses to let you into this room unless you do the fat molded area.
Yeah, and even though we do know those other numbers, it locks you out from interacting with the keypad at all. So you actually just can't get into the room.
Oh, does it only let you do it once?
It only lets you put it in once, yeah.
Huh.
But it's kind of a bummer. It'd be cool to be able to just skip the whole fat molded area.
Yeah, that actually would be pretty sweet. So the cake exploded, as you may have seen. It was a lie.
It was a lie.
And instead we get dynamite, which conveniently fits in this
very weak dynamite, by the way, if you really think about it.
Yeah, right.
Drywall,
It's like a stack of dynamite too.
Yeah, this very like comedically weak, because this should detonate this whole building.
Yeah, absolutely. It should at the very least like blow up this room, right?
Yeah, but nope. It just that little hole. Get this D-series head. We just missed Lucas, but we're gonna grab all of our items back out of the box because we're coming up on Jack 3, which is another. It's kind of similar to March Fight, where it's very engaged and there's a lot of movement going on.
Yeah. And as you can see, our inventory is kind of crazy right now. Like, between, getting all of our stuff back and all the stuff that we've sort of been picking up and everything. However, there is a level of organization to the chaos, right? So the way Zeke inserted his items initially means that when he pulls them out, because the items appear at the bottom of the list, they're actually in a specific order. And by doing that, it both helps with consistency because he knows which weapons are going to be on which hotkeys, but also it helps with any interactions, like for this crank, because he knows exactly where the crank is going to be. And as long as you sort of put all your items into the item box the same way every time, you will be able to pull them out the same way, and it's just really nice for consistency. We
are fresh out of shock and ambush. It's a little spooky right now. a little concerned about this crawler up ahead, so we're going to prematurely change our frame rate to 30. And hopefully we don't get beat up here.
Yeah, this guy, he stays in iframes for a really long time. Like, you can't shoot him there until he really jumps to the side. So killing him isn't even necessarily an option, and he attacks very fast. So kind of a dangerous spot. And now we're praying for shotgun ammo, right?
Yeah, we did get some, so we're all good there.
Nice. Yeah, so some of those drops are guaranteed. Like the ones that are outside of boxes, those are just static. Those are always going to be the same. But the ones in the crates are potentially.
Oh, hello, game. What happened? I was
what?
I like walked up and I thought my camera took me to her, but I like glanced away for a second and then I looked back and like I'm just staring at the wall.
I was wondering.
We were just sightseeing a little bit.
I was wondering what we were looking at. There's like a bowling ball in that life preserver, by the way. The first time I ever noticed it, but I don't know what that's about.
All right, we got to do some crafting here. So we're going to do this. And then we'll just do this just to make sure I have enough ammo here. Swap over, make sure I have everything loaded. Time for Jack 3. And now we finally get another checkpoint for the first time in like forever.
Yeah. Since getting to the Lucas section for the first time, I think. So another really cool fight here. Very, very optimized and very sort of precise. And again, the key is going to be sort of these flame rounds throughout. So he's going to open up with a flame round on the eye, and then he's going to sort of just blast it until it's dead. He's going to hang out up here a little bit and wait for his left arm so he can put some shotgun rounds and some pistol into it, pop that eye. And the general gist of this fight is, right, Jack has 8 eyes, I believe, and we just have to kind of go around and kill them all. However, in Madhouse, Jack is like super fast. And so his behavior in terms of like him crawling up and then starting his attacks and dropping back down, it's all sort of like, you know, really, really quick. You barely even have enough time to do reloads in this fight. So that's why you're going to see him hit with a neuro round. And the neuro round not only does some damage, but it also slows down enemies. So with the neuro round now, Jack is moving slower, which unfortunately means his death animation is going to be slower, but it does mean that we have the time to hit those shots. You're going to see him reload for another neuro round. That was all of his eyes, by the way. And the fight isn't quite over yet. We have to do one more cryo shot and then blast his face eye, and GG. Great fight.
That was pretty clean.
Yeah.
See, even the neuro makes his actual death animation vivid.
Yeah, it's like super dramatic. He's dying in slow-mo. Yeah, super nice fight. And that's really our last major boss of the game.
Yeah. I would consider the entirety of the boat to be a boss, just based on how well it can be on Madhouse.
That's valid, yeah. Yeah, the basement area, especially at the end, yeah. But that's Jank Banquet.
All right.
What's great is all of our items will go back to, again, the item box, and the way it works out is when we get out of all of this, out of the ship section and everything, all of our items are going to be in a way that Zeke is familiar with, and it's consistent. So, again, superior inventory in this game.
Yeah,
I'll die on that.
Build better than every other game, honestly. This is where the game gives us a choice. We can save Mia or Zoe. I personally like saving Zoe, but for the speedrun, we have to save Mia. Because if you do save Zoe, you get the non-canon ending of the game, where Zoe dies and we have to fight Mia as a boss. But Zoe saved Mia instead. Saves us a little over a minute on Madhouse.
Yep.
As much as I'd like to save Zoe, I would. But that's time loss.
Yeah. Never forget the time I donated to have you throw a world record pace run to save Zoe.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I remember I was doing a charity marathon one time, and I was on world record pace for New Game Easy, and there was a donation set between me and Zoe. Mia was winning, and then Niddle sniped it and made Zoe win, and subsequently I did not get world record as a result. Kind of messed up if you think about it.
Listen, you got plenty better world records. it just took another couple years, whatever.
How many of them were during marathons?
That's true.
So now we're going to the boat. The boat is not really that arguable, but kind of where the game slows down a bit and we take over as playing as Mia. But the problem with the boat is that, one, you don't get a lot of crazy equipment. You're actually pretty starved on good weapons. You get like a gun that I'm using that term very loosely, gun. And then you get bombs. But the problem with it is there's a lot of narrow hallways with a lot of molded. So the risk of getting cheap shot and just dying randomly is actually quite high. So that's the part we are hopefully going to avoid, and hopefully we get through just fine with no deaths. That would be super awesome.
Yeah. Fun fact, in development, there was a time where they considered the Jack 3 fight was going to be a boat fight. Like, so you'd get on the boat and then, like, kind of Del Lago style fight Jack, but I think it would have made too many people nauseous in VR, so they abandoned that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Having played this game in VR, I would highly recommend it. This game is amazing on the PSVR. Even though the PSVR is a bit dated these days, it still looks great. RE7 feels like a whole different experience when you actually play it on VR.
Yeah, I still need to do that.
It's a good time. It's really nice. It's like they changed so much about like how you feel the game, and like how the pause menu is different. Spatial sounds are different. It's really cool.
Yeah. Oh no. Now we get to play as Mia.
Oh no, indeed.
Oh no.
So Mia is broken up into two sections that are similar but different in certain ways. First, we start off as normal Mia, and then we're going to go into the Mia tape, and then we'll go back to normal Mia. Mia tape is where it's the scariest and the worst, and we actually have some skips in the Mia tape that can be kind of brutal. But mostly the biggest threat here is just dying to molded potentially, because we really don't have much to work with.
Yeah. I would say, Ship definitely gets a lot of hate for being a bit of walking simulator, and it kind of breaks up the pacing of the game. It is sort of an important lore dump for the game purposes, because up until Ship, in the story, we really have no idea what's going on. Like, I always kind of refer to this game, I think correctly, as a Metroidvania, and I think in the vein of like a Metroidvania, you start off the game and you're kind of like learning all of your abilities all over again, and kind of that's sort of we need to have this story breakup here, just because we have no idea what's going on in the story up until here.
Yeah. On top of that, it's like you are going through like the same areas on repeat, where you go back through like the main house a few times, go through the ship a few times. So it does does fit that genre of like Metroidvania. So I mean, I would agree for sure. Not traditionally, people would be very surprised to hear it, but I think it fits.
Yeah. Yeah, and I the sort of the power creep as well. Like, as you progress, you get stronger and stronger, and then you get to the ship, and now you're a weak baby again. But
yeah, Madhouse is an interesting difficulty where, unlike Village of Shadows, which is the hardest difficulty for RE8, which you'll see tropes run that after this, was designed for New Game Plus. Madhouse was not designed for New Game Plus. It was designed in mind for you. You can use New Game Plus, but you can also still very easily beat it without. So there are sections like the boat where that becomes a little tricky, because the boat without New Game Plus items is awful. Like, it is actually just not balanced very well. So it kind of feels like in the boat, the idea was to maybe use New Game Plus items. Maybe that's what they were thinking of. But on a New Game speedrun, we don't get to do that. We have to work with some bombs and a glorified BB gun.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is a shame that the little machine gun they give you is just not really, great, it's not anything. Yeah, it's just kind of weak. It's good at staggering enemies, which, kind of similar to the purpose the TMP serves in like RE4, I would say, but it's not great at eliminating enemies.
Right, exactly. it does a job. I'm not gonna say it does the job, but it does a job. And right now, as at Mia, basically what's happening is we're kind of reliving a bit of Evelyn's control, and we're understanding like the power and what she did and everything. We're kind of just remembering everything that's happened, and this kind of reveals that Mia is way more involved in Evelyn than we were initially led to believe. Basically responsible for quite a bit of it, actually.
Yeah, arguably a bioterrorist, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so too. This is why I don't like Mia, because people they love Mia Winters. Like, oh my God, it's Ethan's wife. She's such a good mom. We can't forget that she's still a bioterrorist. Like, she's still a bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like when we all saw the initial trailers for Resident Evil Village where Chris shot Mia, and people were like, oh no, that's crazy. For me,
the RE7 speedrunners. Oh,
yeah,
man.
We were like, I get it. No, I get it. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. So coming through here, yeah, we're gonna get this fuse. This molded here can kind of troll because he gets up really, because he gets up really quick, and that hit is very, very much impossible to avoid. Because again, the time from him lunging for the attack, like even if we whipped around, there ain't no blocking that.
That was a cheap shot, so there's not much we can really do about it. The good thing though is that cheap shot is actually a good thing. Because they kind of the way cheap shots work is they're kind of on like a cycle, and essentially what that means is when one cheap shots us, another one, the next few molded shouldn't really, which is very important for this next area. And in this next area, we have molded that if they do cheap shot us, we actually could just die immediately.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't happen.
It's actually crazy because it can also happen on other difficulties. Like this, you can get cheap shotted to death on easy. I've seen it happen on my PBs specifically. It's rare, but effectively enemies can multi-hit you in the same frame, similar to how we multi-hit with the axe. And so they can just do an absurd amount of damage. And if you're anything but 100% on HP, it'll kill you. And it's like instant. And it's a very much, rage clip sort of territory type situation.
Mm-hmm. In this part of the game, the tape, this is what we talked about earlier. This is the other part of Mia, where we basically have to go through the past here. This is Alan, actually so irrelevant of a character. We don't really, not really worth talking about. He doesn't last very long. Yeah. But we have one skip here where we get to skip a phone call with him, assuming I do it correctly.
Yeah, so the skip coming up here, it's Alan 1 skip, or also AKA vomit skip. And the way it works is Zeke is going to position himself as far away from this pile of Evie's vomit as he can. He's going to whip around and inspect it, and then walk past the table. And he did it successfully. And if he didn't do it successfully, we would be sitting on a call with Alan for like 16 seconds. And besides time loss, like, Alan's just a bummer. He's just like not fun to talk to. Like, yeah, he's like the guy you get the call on your phone and you're like, I don't really, you're gonna bog me down with a bunch of stuff. I don't know.
I'm having a good day, man. Like, I don't.
I was having a good day until Alan Droney called.
That was Alan Douglas.
Oh yeah. So Alan is such an irrelevant character that they actually messed his name up between the credits and the documents in game. So in the documents, he's Alan Droney, and then in the credits, he's Alan Douglas. Or there's another guy in the game named Alan Douglas that I don't know who he is. We never really run into him. And in which case, Alan Droney may just be uncredited completely, which I could kind of understand.
We can see it.
I can see it.
Let's hope this guy doesn't cheap shot. That's good. Kind of avoiding cheap shots here, which is kind of the idea. We got some bombs and a heal. This is the part of the game where it gets really scary. The part right after this is actually where it gets terrifying, but this is also a little spooky because avoiding cheap shots is a very big deal here.
Yeah, there's just a lot of enemies in close proximity, and as you can see, they're like crazy fast. Like that guy just kind of shambled on past, fortunately, but pretty much every enemy can lock on if it decides to, and there's a whole host of bad attack animations that they can do.
Yeah, it can be pretty brutal. So we're gonna we need this corrosive here to open the door over there. We don't have to trigger the call that typically happens. Grab this, and then what I'm also going to grab is another chem fluid to make a second heal, because we're going to want these 2 heals for this upcoming area, because I'm likely to get cheap shot soon, and when it happens, I will die.
Yeah. Small optimization here, but you're going to see Zeke essentially walk past one of the railings on the banister, and then he's immediately going to turn around. And this triggers Eevee running away a little bit earlier, because the game actually wants you to kind of do a full lap. But if you run just like a quarter of the way and then turn around, you can skip some of that. And now we have to listen to Alan.
Yeah.
Shame.
There is another skip that we do here on easy where we blow ourselves up with a bomb, but we actually can't really do that here, as it would be very risky and we need these bombs.
You could understand why blowing yourself up with a bomb is probably not conducive to survival in Madhouse. Believe it or not.
If you really think about it, you might come to that conclusion.
Yeah. Waiting for the day somebody does it in a world record, and then you're like, oh no.
Getting cheap shot there is not that bad, because it means that hopefully these guys up here will not do it.
Yeah, so this hallway is just a huge cluster of dudes. This guy runs up on you so fast that you have to use a bomb to get past him. He just body blocks. Besides the fact that he'll attack you, his body blocking is ridiculous. And then we plop a bomb down here, which hopefully will get rid of these dudes' legs so that they are less of a threat, though still a threat. Nice. And then we're going to use the pea shooter, BB gun, check the watch real quick, of course. Check the Apple Watch heart rate, make sure everything's good there.
Nice. Always good to get through there without dying. That's a very big dub,
Yeah,
honestly.
that was a good one. Yeah. We do have a checkpoint that we would get sent back to that isn't like the worst checkpoint, but it's still pretty bad if Zeke were to have died there.
Not horrible, but certainly not good.
Yeah. And the fun continues. Yeah, we have this guy. This is the we haven't really talked about it, but there's obviously the big arm moldeds and then sort of the regular dudes. And the big arm dudes, they they hit harder. They have pretty much the same attacks, sort of, but the cheap shots from them are especially bad.
Yeah. Like that right there, he actually interrupted his normal swing with a cheap shot. Had he done that a little bit later and it hit me with the normal swing and cheap shot me, I would have actually just died. And there wasn't much I could really do about it unless I reacted with the heal fast enough. But thankfully, not too bad. Usually we go out of here using both of our heals, but we really only used one. We don't get to keep the heal. It does go away. But we do get to watch Alan die.
Yay. Jeez, I'm coming in hot for Alan today.
I mean, that's fair. I respect it.
I mean, look at him. He's got a tummy ache. Come on. Yeah, you're fine. You can go to school, Alan.
Don't be a baby, Alan.
Crawl like a baby. But yeah, Alan, he's got a little rumbly tumbly. He's got a big quiz coming up, and he's like, oh, I gotta get out of it with the old Campbell soup trick.
Maybe he's getting picked on at school. He doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
This guy named Jack.
This guy named Jack Baker. He's really mean to me, Mom.
Mom, please. But yeah, this is the end of the tape. So the tape being cleared without dying is actually a huge deal. If there's any real places you're going to die in this run, if you do learn Madhouse, is it's going to be like hallway or it's going to be here. Like these are the two big places. Those are the two big places where people die. The whole point of doing this tape is now afterwards you kind of have to like remember what we did in the tape and then do it again kind of, and then not tape basically. Which is fix an elevator, because Mia is also an elevator repair person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost similar to the Lucas section in a way, where in the Lucas puzzle section, you would do the birthday tape and then kind of get a glimpse into what you're meant to do in the actual escape room. In this, we kind of get a glimpse into what we're supposed to do out of Mia tape section, and then we kind of do that. Yeah.
In our only skippable cutscene.
Yeah. Oh man. He did it.
And it's gone.
He did the thing.
It's a shame because it's like the coolest cutscene.
Yeah, it is a really cool cutscene. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the reason they didn't do that, similar to the boat fight, is because that cutscene, like the camera gets like thrown out of the boat and you get like sucked underwater, and then it even goes third person, I think, and you like see Mia floating in the water. And I think it would have just been nauseating and kind of
crazy
awkward.
Like
Yeah, like it would have been weird to do in VR. So that's a skippable cutscene.
All right, now we're back outside of tape, and we have to go save our husbando.
Yeah, husband.
And trapped in some mold.
And the elevator's broken now.
Yeah. This is where you call Mia your elevator repair person and bioterrorist. She's really a double threat.
No. What a thrill.
Longest ladder in Resident Evil.
Yeah, it is a very long ladder.
So the items I picked up before the tape I still have, so that includes the 2 bombs and the healing stuff I picked up. We're not going to run into an enemy for a little bit here still. But the problem with this part of the game is that while there isn't very much threat, there's still like areas for time loss where a moldy can randomly hit you, or a fat moldy can run into you, or anything along those lines. Those are all possibilities here. Hopefully none of that happens and we just get through all squeaky clean. Surely I didn't just jinx myself saying that.
Certainly, yeah. Certainly that's the case. Yeah, this section it's very much 0 to 100. Like right now it's pretty chill, and then as soon as we start encountering enemies, it's very not chill.
Yeah, a difference here in Madhouse is we don't get the survival knife here, and instead of a normal molded being here, it's actually a fat molded. But if we go 60 FPS, we can kind of just ignore this guy entirely. And he's a nice dude. He'll hold this door open for us, so we can just scoot right on out.
And then it's great because he despawns because we walked into the room, but it takes him so long to despawn that like he's despawning by the time we walk out of it. So he would have to respawn for him to actually be a threat again. And by that time, we're already super long gone. Little bomb there to blow up that guy. You may notice you can like basically be next to the remote bombs. They're very much like personal explosive devices. They're not, major explosions, even though they look like they would be.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what they're even made out of. It's just like a jar with some liquid in it and then a battery wrapped in wires. Like, I'm not too sure what's actually going on in here. Use an iframe, just ignore this guy. If we do that animation too slow, he will still hit us, but that guy's just kind of crawling around.
Yeah. What's kind of interesting is in End of Zoe, you get a infinite item like thing in New Game Plus that lets you place infinite remote bombs, which is like, oh, it's so satisfying. Like if you just want to blow off some steam, like it's really, really nice to just plop down like 50 remote bombs and blow them all up at the same time. However, in main game, you only get infinite ammo, and that does not apply to remote bombs. Otherwise,
that'd be
nice. Be a lot of fun. Yeah, right? Like, imagine
crazy stuff with that.
Yeah. But,
don't hit me, please.
Yeah, so Zeke is getting chased down this hallway, by the way. The 2 dudes there are very aggro and very fast. And in other categories, the fat molded would just kind of vomit against the wall, and then you would just walk past him. But in this, he actually puts up a pursuit. And he can do this like belly bump move that just kind of knocks you on your butt, and it's not great.
It's pretty annoying when it hits, but sometimes he just gets stuck on collision, which is usually what you just want there. All right, we got one more bomb, and I have to run through this area again, kind of where I ran through earlier, and I was worried about getting cheap shot and dying, and we had to blow the bomb up on those guys. It's a little bit easier this time around. The concern is that whether or not this guy cheap shots me, but otherwise it should be relatively straightforward. I'm going to take a little sidestep here and grab this hill just for safety.
Yeah, again, just the tight quarters just make this inherently dangerous. Getting body blocked and then getting hit, it's not good. And we haven't had to mention it, fortunately, but if you're in critical, you actually move. Okay, shouldn't have said anything.
You were saying
if you're in critical, no, you're good.
I was close to being a crit there. That cheap shot did like 700 damage to me.
Yeah, if you're in critical, which is like you get the super red bloody border, you actually move way slower. It's like you're like, I don't know, like 70% slower or something like that. And then a quick retry there as we find Ethan in his little kebab.
Ethan?
Probably the best cutscene right here.
Yeah.
Lo sé. No voy a hacerte daño.
It's one of the only glimpses other than the Daughters DLC where we can see that Jack is actually like a very gentle dude, and he's nice. He's no killer son. Neither is Marguerite.
Or even Zoe.
Yeah, or even Zoe. Yeah, why even Zoe? Like, what is that? She's like, what the hell, dude? Even Zoe. What does that mean?
Don't know what that's all about. That's kind of messed up.
Even Zoe.
Yeah, it's actually insanely cursed the way you look at it, because if you think about it, Jack talks about his family here like Lucas and Marge are just like the sweetest people on earth, but Zoe's just this awful person. Like, what did Zoe do? Yeah, it kind of makes you think. What did Zoe actually do?
I think he knows.
Does he know?
He's aware.
Oh no.
He's a knower. I don't know. My family, even Lucas, and then the crowd just laughs. Right, Lucas. Yeah, nice kid. You got.
I know that kid.
Yeah,
That's the League of Legends player, right?
That's the That's the league guy. I played him last night. I think he's got a comm ban for 24 hours now.
No, not my Lucas. All right, so basically what is actually happening in this cutscene is Jack is telling us that Evelyn basically took control of him and his family. Nothing they did was of their own volition. It was all Evelyn, and they're not bad people. The slight caveat to that is Lucas is actually a bad guy. Like, Lucas was actually a bad guy. Jack, not a bad guy. Zoe, not a bad guy. Marge, not a bad guy. But no, Lucas, bad guy. For sure.
Yep. It's a great cutscene. But now we are Ethan again. In the Ethan kebab.
We are in an Ethan kebab.
I love it. So you may have noticed, but the textures don't look so great. We do, in fact, run this game at like the lowest possible graphic settings without it looking totally, dog barf. But
yeah. It could be way worse if I were to switch.
It could go worse. Yeah. There was a time, like sort of before, the last 4 or 5 years when PCs kind of got better, that we were, for the most part, every runner I think was running at 1280 by 720 resolution.
Yeah.
Which 1280 by 720 with all textures turned to low and like all graphics effects and effects rendering turned to low and all the settings looks really, really rough. It's like a bitrate destroyer too, because everything's so like just kind of pixely.
Yeah, very, very pixely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was important for the frame rate. That was like a big deal.
Right. That was the whole thing.
Still is to a degree.
Yeah. Anyway,
we're Ethan again.
On our way to salt mines. The salt mines conveniently located underneath the Baker estate.
Yeah, that also has a lab in it.
Yeah, yeah. A biochemical research lab.
Wouldn't be a Resident Evil game if it wasn't like that.
Yeah. And it is actually sort of revealed in Village that the Baker house was actually designed by the Spencer Mansion guy. John Spencer.
I think that was revealed in RE7 because if you go up the stairs to get the blue key card, there's a note about the house.
Oh, yeah.
And it
You're right.
Spencer.
You're right. They do reveal it in RE7. I think they mention it again in Village at some point just to reinforce it. It's like at the end when you're as Chris, I think.
I think the idea was that they mentioned that this whole Baker incident wasn't an accident. It was meant to be here. Was kind of revealed during that as well. And also Ethan died. Ethan died a long time ago.
Spoiler alert. Yep.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Grab this backpack here. We're going to grab this neuro round, this flame ingredient. Grab all of our items out. Make a save.
And again, everything set up in the inventory so that Zeke can just cleanly pull everything out of the bottom of it, and he has all of his loadout and all of his goodies, and we're ready to go. These guys can be a bit troll. In Madhouse especially, but even in easy and normal, if they get onto the elevator, which it was kind of dangerously close there, if they get onto the elevator cannot move. It has a 1 Ethan capacity, and the moldeds just weigh a little too much. So it's like molded on the elevator is like the ultimate cursed run. That's like you're just totally done. Getting them off the elevator is yeah, it's like impossible to get them off, especially in Madhouse. You have no ammo to really spend getting them off, and then on top of that, you're just losing, you know, buttloads of time because the elevator's not moving.
All right, there's a couple pickups here, running by some molded. The objective now is to make the necrotoxin. We have this ingredient that Mia gave us, and we have to create the necrotoxin and bring it to Evelyn, and then basically kill her. That's kind of like the whole objective here. There's going to be some molded in our way, but until we get to the actual gauntlet of the mine, it's not too bad. Granted, there's this funny thing that can happen here where if I push this, a molded can just sidestep it and come right up next to me and start feeding me up while I'm locked in this animation. Oh, nope, he got caught by it.
Nice. Perfect. Yeah. Triple kill.
I wanted to see like the, you know, you go to a bowling alley and you get those like crazy animations that play with.
Oh yeah. The strike, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be just like that.
Somebody needs to put that together, like the strike animation, but it's RE7 and it's like the vault.
That'd be so good.
I'd go to that bowling alley.
All right, we'll go ahead and open this up. We're gonna put the necrotoxin in, and we have a little bit of time. I'm gonna use that time to grab some items here, specifically that strong chem and the shotgun ammo.
Yeah, fortunately, you know, this is sort of the part of the game where you get to this room and they give you like a ton of stuff and you're like, okay, this is it, you know, this is the last sort of major hurdle. They give you kind of ammo for every single weapon you could possibly have, plus a bunch of resources to craft more ammo, plus some heals. So you're kind of locked and loaded from here.
All right, and now salt mines, which is probably like the last like challenging part of this run, which is to get to the top of the salt mines without dying, basically.
Yep, we have to do this this little ascent section coming up, and probably the worst part about this section in Madhouse versus easy or normal is that we can't do this retry here. So normally in easy, we would retry here and it gives Ethan his run speed back as if he was outside. We can't do that in Madhouse because there's no checkpoint there. So Ethan is actually like walking through this section, which really, they should have just given him his outdoor run speed, but I guess to inflate the difficulty, they can do that. Wanted him to be slow. Yeah. So it just makes everything a lot more dangerous. Like we don't want to stop. So like that headshot is really important. If we got held up even a little bit by that molded, it kind of like messes up the sequence, and then we're gonna have dudes spawning behind us and in front of us, and it's a huge problem.
Speaking of huge problem, that crawler survived, so I'm a little concerned. Just have to get past this guy fast.
Dropping down to 30 here to squeeze through, and again, like, yeah, nice. There's the big arm dude, there's another molded, there's the four-legged, all behind us and like approaching very rapidly. And then Zeke is trying to destroy these mines on the ladder here. He's gonna hit a neuro. You get them all? No. Okay.
I'm always just kind of guessing with that last one.
Yeah, the mines actually can't kill you, right? It's not the mines themselves. It's like you get to 1 HP and then you drop on the ground and then you die to the molded.
Yeah, the mines actually cannot do lethal damage. They'll always bring you down to 1. On Madhouse Knife only, which is the speedrun category that I've done, you just kind of climb up and you let the bomb tank knock you down. Yeah.
Yeah. And guess where we are?
Back in Guest House, baby.
Oh man, dude, we got to do the whole speed run over again now.
All right. So I'm Captain C, this is Niddle, and this is Mia. We're going to go ahead and set this up again.
Yeah.
The Mia 1 hit, very important.
Mia 1, etc.
The RE9 is actually just RE7 twice. And look, we get to see Ethan's face here. People say you never get to see it, but you get to clearly see it here.
Yeah, you totally see it.
just got to crank up your brightness a little bit.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's it. We're playing at max brightness. I think most people are playing at like normal brightness, and you kind of don't see his face there. But max brightness, his face is rendered and very much there.
Very common for people to ask why we play in such high brightness, and it is quite literally so that I can see. It is actually hard to see this game on default brightness because the game is so unbelievably dark. Very, very hard to see if you're playing on the standard intended brightness.
Especially for like all the tricky lineups and stuff like that we have to do, and all the out of bounds stuff looks especially dark because like you're half inside, half outside, and the game doesn't like that. So like the brightness goes all crazy if you're like going inbounds and out of bounds, and it's like trying to change the skybox according to whether you're inside or outside. And, yeah,
so just you notice with a lot of horror speedruns, it's just that having your brightness up is very common. We want to see. Got to know where we're going. Mia spawns here as a little ghost, and we're just going to run right past her. She's impersonating Bubba Sawyer. We're going to go ahead and just ignore her. Evelyn here. On easy, you can do this in one cycle. On Madhouse, we can only do it in two. We're going to block once there, and then we're going to wait till we're around this corner, block again, and then we should be able to just run up and inject her just like that.
Yeah, those like telekinetic blasts that she does are really, really fast in that house. In easy, there's a decent amount of time between them, so we can just tank one, and we have enough time to run up to her. But in Madhouse, definitely not.
Yeah, a little too quick.
Bad hair day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Grandma was Evelyn the whole time.
What? No way,
It was
dude.
old man Jenkins.
Oh. And she would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling speedrunners.
Be like that. Evelyn is gonna transform into what is actually just a set piece boss, but we have to kill her. I have to dump some ammo into her. So I'm gonna turn around and grab some ammo that's here on the corner. Make sure my guns are loaded. Probably a good idea.
Realistically, if you had like near to no ammo here, they give you really as much as you should need to deal with this.
They give you quite
which
a bit.
is nice. Yeah. She does insta kill if you walk up to her. I should mention.
She does eat you. Yeah, she takes a big bite out of you.
Yeah. And part 2 of our set piece boss. We're gonna have to do a little bit of damage to her, but you don't need to shoot her here. I mean, you can if you like want to, but it doesn't really do anything. She doesn't have a health pool that you need to drop to 0 or anything like that.
Yeah, she's very nothing right now. Like, she's gonna bring our health down to basically 1, but she can't actually kill us unless we just AFK completely on this next part. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna get 2 shotgun shots off, and then we're gonna switch to our pistol.
Yeah, and the goal is to just get her to let go. We just need her to drop us here. Yep. She's angry.
All right.
Nice.
Then we're gonna grab the Albert, and ideally we get this in 4 shots. Sometimes it's 5 if the game just wants to be funny for no reason.
The game wants to be really funny.
Really.
Yeah, so this section, I always take my mouse off the mouse pad because you want to be aiming like dead center of the screen. Basically, the default position that it puts your mouse, you just want to blast there. There is a chance that her arms can get in the way though, and you could technically waste all of your shots and not have her killed, which is kind of crazy when it happens, but
It is unfortunate when it happens, but that's RE7.
yeah, GG, man.
Thank you. Time will come up as soon as the screen fades to black here. While that does happen, I'll give you guys a preview of who was doing the yapping earlier, the barking. This is Bubbles. He was barking earlier. This is who you were hearing. He's just a little guy. And time.
GG. GG.
Yeah, not bad. Let's see. What time did we get? Let's see what our IT was. Yeah, that was RE7 Madhouse. That's definitely one of my favorite runs that I've ever done. I'm mostly an RE7 speedrunner, but I run a lot of RE games. 133, 31, not bad.
Yeah, nice.
That was actually pretty good. Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, I'm Captain Ezekiel. I appreciate you guys hanging out. My commentator was Niddle. If you want, you can catch me at twitch.tv/Captain Ezekiel. RE9 is something I will be playing a lot of. I will be doing a lot of speedruns and of the hardest difficulty. And I will be streaming live on the front page tomorrow night on Twitch at 11 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to see RE9, if you want to see hardest difficulty speedruns, I'll be doing a lot of it for the next little while. Very excited for RE9, looking forward to it. But what you guys should also look forward to is this Voss run by Death Tropes. Voss is, like Madhouse, very hard, but even harder in certain areas. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, if you want to check out my stream, you'll see more of me. You'll see more Bubbles. If you like this little guy. But yeah, thanks again, guys, for having me. Thank you, Ek, for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thank you for that run of RE7. Once again, if you have not checked out Captain Ezekiel, you can find the link in Twitch chat right there. Twitch.tv/Captain Ezekiel. A lot of fun RE games, challenge stuff, and the like. And probably RE9 very soon. We do have one more run for you. It is going to be a doozy of a run. It's going to be a tough one. We'll learn more about that in a moment. But first, a couple announcements before they be right back. One, GDQ will be returning to PAX East from March 26th to the 29th. You can visit east.paxsite.com to find more info on that, or use !PAX in Twitch chat for more information on that. As well, if you're ever curious what's coming up on the Hotfix or all right, everyone, welcome back from the break. Hopefully you enjoyed that run of RE7. It is one of my favorite categories to watch, and you do get to see how hard a Resident Evil game can get. However, it should be mentioned that as time has been going on since 2017, it really does feel like Capcom has been pushing the envelope on how hard can really be. Because obviously we had Madhouse, we had Hardcore, and we even had Inferno at one point, which is a neat RE3 category, but one that is pretty brutal, and I'm assuming we might even see something on this level very soon. Is the Village of Shadows. We're going to learn all about it, but this might be one of the hardest categories that we ever had on the show, in fact. If not, it is certainly up there. And luckily for you, you'll be able to see it in all of its glory. Up next, we have a Resident Evil Village of Shadows with Death Tropes. Take it away.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, everybody, my name is Tropes. I am a horror speedrunner, and I'm going to be showing you Resident Evil Village of Shadows. It is kind of hard to say, like, back to back. But I'm also doing the no intro category. Just to give a little brief description, we skip the intro scene. If you play the game, we skip the intro scene that has Ethan with Mia and his daughter. Then you have the situation that happens there with Chris coming there and killing Mia. And then you're taken to this place, and there's all this crazy stuff that happens. There's a siege. You're getting attacked by hordes of Lycans here and there. We skip all that. We start right after that siege part where you're getting attacked by all the Lycans and whatnot. So at that point, we're going to start the run here in a 3, 2, 1. Let's go. We start at the little church that's like right afterwards, where you get your first of 2 statue heads for a puzzle you have to do. We're going to take it right now. Let's get out of here. We're going to go get a few things we need first from this little shack right here. We're going to get these parts we need, this rusted scrap, and then this mine that we need. And then we're going to go this way towards the location of the second statue head. Hopefully we don't get memed here with this arrow. We did not. That's good. Okay, cool. Let's get by this guy. Thankfully, we did not get hit there. You can actually get hit into the cutscene, which is kind of hilarious and very annoying, but that didn't happen. So now we're crawling over that wall. We're going to go over here, open this door for these 2 survivors we found. Also, something that differs between this game and RE7 is that you can skip probably 99% of the cutscenes. If you were to be forced to watch every cutscene, this run would probably be like 3 hours long, honestly. But yeah, thankfully we can skip every cutscene except for a couple. Thankfully they're not super long, but the majority of them you can skip. Right now we're just kind of waiting for the store to open, and there it goes right now. But we're basically stuck in this village. We're trying to find out what happened to our daughter, and we found some survivors in this village, and now we're following one of them to this room that has, you know, basically the remaining survivors of this village. And hopefully nothing terrible happens, but, oh, you know what? I was wrong. There we go. All right, so that was one of our first Lycan encounters that you'll see in this run. We're gonna grab a couple items here. We need to open that, grab the shotgun shells, come over here, open this, get the screwdriver, and then we're gonna run back to the vehicle. And don't get too attached to this character, all right? Just to let you guys know. We're gonna skip that real quick, and then we're gonna skip another cutscene. I know a lot of things are happening in pretty quick succession, but basically, found survivors, and you know, this girl's with us. She looks like she's gonna survive, and then actually she didn't. Okay, anyways, now we're running out of here. We're gonna jump out this window and get our second statue head for this puzzle, which is the whole reason we came over here in the first place. We're gonna go grab this real quick. Use the screwdriver there. Grab this, and then we're going to skip another cutscene, kind of phase through the door, though. It's kind of fun when that happens. And now this place is literally empty. There are no more survivors left. And so now we're just trying to get through to this door over here that leads us to the castle, which is where we were told to go. Don't mind this old lady here. She's not weird or, you know, she doesn't have anything nefarious in mind whatsoever. Just ignore her. All right, here's where these statue heads come in. These are RNGs. We're going to see where those are at. That's pretty rough RNG, but that's totally fine. Oh, I didn't put it in the right spot, but that's fine. All right, one more over here, turn it there, and there we go. Those are done. All right, something else that's interesting about Village of Shadows for this run is we want a lot of money at the beginning of the run, so we're gonna hope these crows drop a lot. Let's see what we got here. It looked like it looked pretty good. It looked pretty good. Okay. Basically, our end goal is after those 2 crows, there's gonna be another 2 crows later, and we want to have at least 16,500 lei. If we have that much, then we're able to get all the items that we need from the first store in the game. But we're first showing one of our antagonists, Heisenberg. It's essentially Nicolas Cage meets Magneto. So you're captured by him, and then this is where you meet basically all of the villains of RE Village. So real quick, just to see them all real quick, just so you can see what's going on here. That's Angie. There's Moreau on the right. We all know who Moreau is. He's the best, if you didn't know. Miranda's back there. Lady D's over there. And then Heisenberg, our boy, sitting over there. Oh, and Donna sitting in the back. But anyways, we got captured. Essentially what happens now is Heisenberg is sending all of his Lycans after us as some sort of sick game that he wants to play. So we're just going to run through here. This game is kind of on rails for just a quick moment. Just trying to break through this place, not get shot by anything. You can get shot by this Lycan when you're running, so thankfully it didn't happen. All right, cool. Let's break through this. And now Ethan thinks he's about to get out, but of course Heisenberg has a little trick up his sleeve.
You truly are as strong as they say.
Well, how are we going to get through that? Surely we can't just stand in this, you know, very convenient hole that's on the side of the wall. Yeah, now you just stand here and you just wait. And then Heisenberg's going to crack a nice joke about fresh American ground beef. Thanks, Heisenberg. Appreciate it. Okay, now that we've regained control of Ethan, and now we're about to go to the castle, which is the first major, I would say, like dungeon of the game.
Freaks have rose.
There's a couple checkpoint reloads, kind of how Zeke was doing in his RE7 run. We're not going to do all of them only because they basically would only save like 0.2 seconds on a lot of them. Some of them are pretty big, and we're going to be doing those, but some of them we don't have to do. They're just they would basically just make the run up like longer just for the sake of like 0.2 seconds. If I was going for like a PB or something like that, I would be doing those, but I would rather showcase, you know, how fluid the run can be. All right, let's hope these crows drop some good money here. Okay, we got those. Those pretty good. Let me see. What do we got here? All right, that's pretty good. We got some good money. That's a good start. So this is our first interaction with the Duke, who is this game's merchant. And he actually happens to be friends with the merchant in RE4 because they'll actually drop some of his lines sometimes. But here we're going to upgrade our shotgun real quick. We're going to buy the mine recipe, and we're going to buy 5 of the shotgun shells.
Thank you for your patronage.
So we're going to go into our castle now. And then we're going to start making our way through there. And then hopefully nothing terrible happens to Ethan. Also, just so you guys know, if you haven't seen this game, there's a lot of hand gore where Ethan's going to get his hands mangled and whatnot quite a bit. So we got some shotgun shells there. That's actually pretty good RNG. So a lot of these pots... Oh, wow. More shotgun shells. That's kind of crazy. So a lot of the pots in this game are randomized drops. Some of them are static, but a lot are randomized. And you want to actually have a lot of shotgun shells for the castle. And this game is saying, hey, like, it looks like you're doing a run on GDQ. Here's a few extra shotgun shells. So here we're meeting some more enemies that will surely not kill us. But these are the Dimitrescu sisters. We're going to be fighting each and every one of them, but for now they've captured us. We're going to pull ourselves off of this hanging spot. Again, trigger warning, you're just, you know, it's kind of gory. You just saw RE7 though, so I'm sure that you're used to it by now, or you're expecting it. But this game essentially, oh, you like all this stuff that happened to Ethan's hands in RE7? Well, we're gonna amplify that. So it's like every 10 minutes from the beginning of the game, as far as like the first part goes, Ethan's hands are just getting mangled repeatedly. And this poor man the entire game, I swear. We are gonna be doing this checkpoint reset, because it does turn you around and move you a little bit. And usually I wouldn't grab this item, but just for the sake of knowing I'm gonna have enough funds and money to get the stuff that I need, we're gonna grab that glass. Just for the sake of knowing, like, being confident we're gonna have enough money to buy all the stuff we need before the first major boss fight. So now that we're out of our little prison, or not prison, just being hung by giant hooks, we're gonna go over here, we're gonna get our first key item in Castle, which is this ring. We're gonna get the ring, we're gonna come over here and grab this scrap. We're gonna need a lot of rusted scrap and a lot of metal scrap. We're gonna interact with this item to get our maroon eye. We're gonna be using that in about, 20 seconds or so. We're also be getting a lot of treasures in the castle, because there's a lot of like nice goodies we can get in order to sell. One thing I found was interesting was that you have the castle, which is this huge, beautiful, just sprawling place, and then right underneath it, you basically have the village, which is destroyed and decrepit. So it just gives you very like different worlds in the same place. We're gonna use that key item we got just now. We're gonna get through this door, and then we're gonna be attacked by one of the Domitress sisters immediately, and we're gonna just run from her for now.
Let me string you up, slice your jugular, and just watch.
Break through that. We're gonna fall down here. I'm gonna do the checkpoint reload also, because it's actually going to make it so I don't have to wait for Ethan to fall down, hit the ground, pick himself up. In fact, we're gonna be able to just keep running like normal. It's pretty nice. I like a lot of checkpoints like that, where they just like let you retain gameplay essentially. There's Lady D right there. So fun fact, if you're playing on New Game Plus and you have the grenade launcher, you can actually shoot a grenade into that room and it doesn't even phase her. It's like the game was designed to just ignore it, which is pretty funny. All right, we're gonna grab more treasures here, and then we're gonna do another checkpoint reload in just a second when we open up this little doorway. Oh, get it, please. Thank you. All right, cool. And this door's gonna automatically be open for us. We're gonna have to wait for it to slowly open. And then shortly here, we're gonna have our first boss fight. Kind of a mini boss fight, but still a boss fight nonetheless, where a lot of resets have happened for a lot of different runners for sure. Grab this metal scrap. We're gonna need it for later. Gonna grab this pipe bomb, which we need right now in this next fight. Grab some extra money there. Oh, don't hit me, please. Thank you. Thank you for moving. And then we're gonna inch to the left a little bit, because an enemy will actually like spawn in front of you if you just run straight. It's kind of an insane thing, because it only happens on boss. The enemy basically just appears in front of you and will just grab you and put you into 1% health. It's not fun. All right, grab these other shotgun shells, grab this chem fluid, and then we're gonna make one of our mines. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Make one of our mines here.
Where are you going, little one?
Now, usually we skip cutscenes. We're not gonna skip this one because we want Bella's position to be static. If you do a cutscene skip, her position could actually change, so we want her to stay in the most consistent spot. All right, I'm gonna have this little fight with Bella real quick. Let's see. Nice stagger on that. Okay, 1 mine, 2 mine. We're gonna back up. Use a mine here. Or a pipe bomb, and now she's done. That was the Bella fight. I'm actually gonna let them hit me because I want to use that health that I actually made. Okay, cool. Oh, don't quit out. Now we shot her, she's gonna crumble. We actually got a checkpoint there, so she's automatically gonna be dismantled, and we can grab her treasure and move on. All right, now on to our next key item now. All right, got the, well, I just call it the wine bottle because I can't pronounce things. Gonna grab this upgrade for the handgun here, put it on right away. Oh, I didn't even put the thing in the right spot. That's unfortunate. Didn't hit that, it's totally fine. One thing that also differs is how you have a live inventory with RE7. You do not in this game. It's very akin to like Leon's briefcase, basically. So you don't have the luxury of downtime, the menu things. Grab this key. You'll also see me using pause buffering to open up drawers and chests and things like that. The reason for that is you actually can skip the animations for opening up those containers. You can just get it right away instead of having to wait for it to open. Get that gem, use this key. All right, cool. Get that metal scrap, get some more money. Just making our way through the castle as normal. And then soon we're gonna get to the next puzzle, which is, it's kind of a puzzle. It's basically just turning some statues, and we're gonna turn them, then we're gonna be going to our first basement of the game. And there's a lot of those. There's a lot of times you're sent below the main structure of the place that you're in. We're gonna follow Lady D in this room over here. She's gonna cry about something. All right, sorry. Okay, move this statue to the right, this one to the left, and then this one to the right. I'm gonna go over here because we have to wait for that to load anyways. Or, excuse me, drain. Open up this drawer, or don't grab the ammo, it's totally fine. Climb up here, and we're gonna let the game just make us fall down. And then we're gonna do this checkpoint reload also because it cancels out cancels out having to hit the ground, stand back up, that kind of stuff. Now we're in the wine cellar. I'm gonna do some manipulations here to where I keep the enemies in the water by shooting them when they're in there, or else they're gonna pop up, grab Ethan, and it's a whole mess. Shotgun shells, let's see if I hit this one. If I did, that one's gonna slowly rise up. I don't have to worry about it now. More money, always good. Now this enemy here, we're gonna go to 30 FPS. Just like in RE7, there are times where we're gonna go to 30 FPS to bypass certain things. Excuse me, sir. Thank you. Back to 120 at this point. Oh, excuse me. Some more money there. And now we're about to get to our next boss fight. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. We actually go back to the basement again. Then we have another boss fight. There's a lot that happens in this game. You're going to skip that. Go over here, grab this key, and then hopefully nothing terrible happens to Ethan. You're going to hear me say that a lot because nothing but terrible things happen to Ethan. Lady D found us. We're going to grab this, go under here. Now, keep in mind, Ethan did just say the words, "Go ahead, do your worst." I'm hoping he doesn't regret that. Open this and then do another checkpoint reload because it automatically opens the gate for us, which is nice. All right, remember when he said that a minute ago, chat? Why would you say that? Why would you welcome that karma into your life? So anyways, now we're handless. Running from Lady D and this enemy in here. Now I'm gonna grab this item because it might come in handy. We go, get our hand back. Now we're going to grab this chem fluid. We're gonna bait her to attack us. We're gonna run by her like so. This enemy's still messing around over here. Okay, now let's get out of here. All right, now we are home free from that. Let me in, please. Thank you. Now, this is the first of our masks that we have to get. We have to get 4 different masks in order to get out of the castle. That is our first one. We have 3 more to get. This cutscene is unfortunately unskippable, but it is hilarious because you get to watch Ethan not only put his hand back onto his wrist with the magic Kool-Aid, but if you pay attention and it goes back to his jacket after this transition, and he looks back down, somehow the jacket has also sewn itself back together. I don't get that, no idea, but like, look, it is literally sewn back together. How? All right, so now we're gonna mosey on from here, get back into this room. There's a chance this enemy is gonna hit us. I'm really hoping he doesn't. Okay, that's fine. If he hits you like that, then it's okay, but he can sometimes put you in danger. That's one thing about Voss is if you get hit once or grabbed, you're probably going to get put in danger immediately, even at full health. So you got to be very careful during your runs and during even your casual playthrough.
You know, a quick question about Voss.
All right. Yeah,
so
go ahead.
You mentioned, I know, some of the checkpoints. I know Madhouse had the manual saves. How brutal are like walkbacks or checkpoints in this? Are they manual? Are they...
So, funny thing is, I am going to make a safety save later on the run, but this game, even on Voss, is very generous with checkpoints. they're the same on casual as on Voss, from my understanding.
Nice.
But yeah, it's very generous. So that's why Zeke. Go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
was gonna just follow up. So why the safety save then?
Because there's a part later on where there is a checkpoint. But give me 1 second. I'm actually gonna let me do this. Yeah, 1 second. Fighting Daniela now. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna get away from her so she can attack. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back. Block that real quick. And then she's gonna give us bad RNG. Yeah, that's fine. Her positioning is not great, but it's fine. That's fine. Nah, she's doing the same attacks. It's fine. I'll just save the shotgun ammo. That's fine. Not the most elegant fight, but it is what it is. But, so the safety save is because there's a part later in the run where there is a checkpoint, but the checkpoint appears right after you use your lockpick on something. And if you actually use that checkpoint and you reset, it actually voids out that lockpick used on that item or on that box, and you can't get the item from it unless you use another lockpick. So if I were to die right after that, which is possible because it's in a pretty tough room, I would actually lose out on that ammo that is crucial for the run. So if I make a safety save right before that, then even if I die, I'm not gonna have to worry about it. So it's just something that is a good thing, but also because of how the run is, it can actually it can kill your run because you need the ammo that's in that box. But besides that, checkpoints are extremely generous. Wow, I'm getting tons of shotgun ammo. I never have this in any of my runs that I do. This is kind of insane. All right, now we're fighting the last sister here, Cassandra. Fine. We're basically gonna be playing Ring Around the Rosie with her. We're gonna make her run around these boxes and chase us. I was lucky. We're just gonna keep baiting her attacks so we can keep shooting her. Oh. All right, that wasn't too bad. Little bit sloppy near the end, but not too shabby. Oops, excuse me. Gonna get this key item real quick because we need it to use on the statue that was right outside this fight. All right. Sweet. Now all the sisters are gone. We have only one more mask to get. Use that item you just got there so we can leave the room. Now, unfortunately, Lady D is going to be standing here. However, on Voss, you can just... Pardon me, ma'am. Thank you. So, funny thing is, on Voss, you can actually just walk by her on the left like that. On casual, you have to go to 30 FPS and go on her right side. It's kind of wild because she moves so much faster on Voss. So she actually leaves a huge window for you to just kind of move faster like that. I can probably name on one hand the things that are easier on Voss than that are on casual. Okay, now we're climbing up here. We're on our way to get our last statue so we can get out of castle. Some money there. It's fine. Our sniper rifle, which you will see me use. Oh yeah, I got that weird inventory because of that. That's fine. Oh well. I actually have to do this now too because of that. Now it's all good. Okay. Now there's these flying enemies up here, which they don't usually pose much of a problem, but if you kind of hang around too much, they can come by and cause you some issues. And when we get up to that area, they can actually, they can boost you, they can actually push you, and it works in your favor. Or they can just flat out get in your way while you're trying to grab a couple items, and it's a pain in the butt. So hopefully they kind of leave us alone up here. Hopefully we have some good ammo up here too. More rifle rounds, that's good, and some pistol rounds. All right, ooh, yep, just like that. Just jumped right in front of me. This is our last statue head. grab this. Get out of here. Didn't block me. That's nice. Shotgun. Nope. Money. That's fine too. So unfortunately, we don't have anything extra for the Lady D fight as far as shotgun shells go, but that's fine. You will make do. We did get some extra rifle rounds though, so that's nice. So a lot of this run, at least the first half of it, is RNG dependent. Like, it won't kill your run, but it'll make certain things easier for the first two major boss fights, Lady D and Moreau. So I'm going to grab this money and this last treasure from in here, and then I'm going to do this checkpoint reload because there's a dodge coming up that, for me, is easier to do when you do this checkpoint reload. But I hope I don't make a fool of myself on GDQ. Hold on. All right, cool. So that dodge it's always been scary to me, and it will always be scary to me because of just like how quick you have to be, or else she'll swipe you and just knock you back, and then you lose all your health, and it's a mess. But anyways, we made it to the Duke. We're gonna skip this cutscene. Go over here. We're gonna put all these statue heads in now. All right, cool. That's that. Now we're gonna go back in here. Now we're gonna do our first major store. I guess your second. We're gonna sell those treasures that we got. Oh, no, not all of them. And then we're gonna upgrade our shotgun's capacity, and then the rifle's power, the rate of fire, and the ammo capacity. And then we're gonna buy a couple things here. We're gonna buy the case, an extra health, just because, and the sniper rifle recipe. Sniper rifle ammo recipe, excuse me. Grab these real quick, and then we're getting to our first major boss fight, which is Lady Domitresque. All right, ammo looks good. I kind of wish I had some extra shotgun shells, but that's fine. We're gonna make some more rifle rounds real quick. And now let's start the fight. So essentially you find this dagger in this tomb, or in this coffin, and it's essentially what makes Lady, it makes Lady D transform essentially, like it makes her true form come out. It's a long cutscene, but this is what she looks like now. So, a little bit different, but hey. All right, cool, there we go. We're gonna grab all this ammo up here. She's gonna fly off, it's fine. So my objective here is I'm gonna kite her around the whole top of this castle and do as much damage as I possibly can until she gets below 7,000 health. Because no matter what, if you get her below 7,000 health, she's gonna retain up to 7,000 health. Even if you were to take her health down to 1, she will still get 7,000 health back after a certain spot she gets to. I'm just kind of trying to whittle her down a little bit here and there. All right, cool. All right, now the fun part begins. I'm gonna focus up just for a quick second on this. Okay, it's fine. All right, cool. Decent damage. We're gonna heal through this real quick. All right, we're gonna go back a little bit, and then we're gonna basically bait her attacks only to certain spots on the arena. Nice. Okay. All right, cool. All right, that's phase 1. Okay. Now we're gonna interrupt her from talking for a second, and no, thank you, ma'am. All right, now we're gonna go to phase 2, which is gonna be a different part of the castle. We're gonna basically get thrown around and whatnot. I'm gonna skip that. Now, much like earlier when we had to get her to below 7,000 health, now we wanna get her to below 3,000 health. Grab some ammo real quick. Gonna come down, and then we're gonna put a few more handgun bullets into her. Now we're just gonna punish her and bait her attacks. Doing my best to hit that weak point, which is sometimes easier said than done on this fight. All right, and that's the Lady D fight. All right, cool. Now we are officially done with Castle.
You're the one who's cursed.
We're gonna get this yellow and very interesting looking flask that Ethan's just gonna take with him, and he has no idea what it is.
Looks like I'm getting out of this place.
Got the dirty flask, which we'll find out what that is in just a moment. If you played this, obviously you know. We're gonna go through this little area underground now, and then we are going to make our way back to the village proper, kind of where the run first started. And then Ethan's gonna catch up with that old lady that I said was doing nothing nefarious and was not weird or evil at all. So she's doing some culty stuff in here, very obviously. Ethan interrupts her. And then she basically says, hey, take this key. So she puts the key in the box, we're gonna get the key, and then we're gonna leave. Now this symbol you're gonna see a lot. There's the one key that you have, you actually will be building onto that key. So throughout the run, we're gonna be getting like different parts to that. We just got the first part, we're on our way to get the second part now. And then, even though this is a glitchless run, I wouldn't consider this a glitch. But we do a little skip here that's kind of cool. I remember when this first got discovered, when the game first came out, and it was mind blowing. Yeah, let me get over here real quick. I still gotta get to that part. But here, all these lichens are going to attack, and as long as you keep moving, they're never going to be an issue. If you stop though for any reason, there is a chance that you will get hit, but don't think I have to worry about that. Here, we're gonna grab this metal scrap. And then it looks like we're good. Okay, now that we got back to the center of the village, we're gonna see a cutscene real quick where Duke is there on the left. He's gonna basically explain to us that the flask that we just found is part of my daughter. Essentially, it's her head, and then every single lord, all like Heisenberg, Donna, and Lady D, she had one, and Moreau, they all have different flasks, different pieces of his daughter. You have your daughter right in your own hands. So you kind of realize what your quest is. You have to go to each lord and get your daughter back from every lord. We're gonna put the first one here. We'll put the rest later, but we put the first one here because you're waiting for that door to open behind you anyways, so why not? And then this little skip here I really enjoy. So we're gonna shoot through this. We're gonna come over here though. The lock on that door, we're gonna shoot the lock off from all the way up here. The game wants you to go all the way around this pretty treacherous area, but we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna climb through that door in just a minute here. Open this, and we're gonna move this to the side, and then I'm not going to miss this shot on this lichen like I did yesterday on a run. Open out that for real quick so we can just run through. We're gonna turn around. Oh, okay. Pull the fast one on me. This one's always the same. It's always 070408. We're gonna get our crank and then our new handgun from in here. Gonna pause buffer that for a second and then grab these items and get out of here. Ooh, nice metal scrap. That'll actually come in handy for later. We're gonna come over here, we're gonna use the handle, we're gonna crouch down here to climb it up, but we're also gonna aim at this lichen, because if you aim at him, chances of him hitting you are like none at that point. I don't know why it works. It was actually taught to me, I think, yesterday or the day before, but if you aim at him, he doesn't hit you ever. So, kind of fun. All right, I'm gonna shoot this guy because I don't like him. And I already had the shotgun in the chamber, the shell in the chamber anyway, so why not? All right, we're about to get our second key. Now, I may regret using that shotgun shell because this lichen in here can possibly attack you. Usually he won't. If he yells, then we know we're good. Okay, we're good. If he doesn't yell, then he's already gonna be coming towards you to attack you. But if he's yelling, then he's gonna be too busy yelling to hit you. So we got our second part of that key. Now it's the 4-winged key as opposed to the 2-winged key. And we're gonna go see the Duke, and then I'm gonna show you another skip that is kind of fun. It only saves a few seconds, but essentially you found a map that Duke will show you like where all these extra treasures are in the game. But we do something called map skip. And essentially if you have on your game, if you turn on the game and you show the map and then you go to the map again later, you can actually skip it. So on a run, you'll see the map and it's gonna disappear right away. Otherwise, you have to wait for all these designs and drawings to pop up that show you like, hey, there's treasures and there's extra stuff here. You don't have to do that if you do your map skip. If you see it once when you turn the game on, then you're good for however many runs you do afterwards. Just good. Little time saves, but stuff like that's pretty cool. But now we're going to our second major area, which is the House Benefiento. And if you know anything about this part of the game, the tone of it shifts a little bit. It definitely goes less actiony and more just like, I would say akin to like, I don't know, something like Outlast or something like that, where you have no way to defend yourself and you're basically running and hiding from things, or in this case, Thing. But yeah, so it's a very cool part of the game, but speedrun wise, it's just running around doing puzzles and then being fast at doing those puzzles and interacting with items. But we'll get through it here pretty quick. So Ethan is also hallucinating by seeing Mia just here holding Rose, because clearly, obviously she's not there. One, Chris did some horrible things at the beginning of the game and she is no longer alive, and Rose isn't with us, so this is obviously a hallucination. And we find out that Donna, who has the doll Angie, who you saw earlier in that cutscene, is causing Ethan to hallucinate at this point. And essentially this whole next part of the game is a massive hallucination. So we're going to be getting up to our elevator here. There is also another form of tech that we use called buffering. I think it's like pause buffering, elevator buffering. I just call it elevator buffers. But essentially, this game was designed in mind with no loading screens unless you're like, loading into the game for the first time or like loading a save or something like that. But besides that, the game doesn't ever have loading screens, and it actually hides loading screens in the elevators. Like elevators will take longer to actually like go because of those loadings. Now, if we pause buffer during those loads, we can actually pause the game, and instead of it eating up our EGT time, it'll just stop, and it's great. But for the sake of this run, I'm not going to do all of them because they do get kind of jarring, especially in a couple elevators later on. I'll be sitting there and doing this for like 20 seconds, and that's not fun for anybody, I don't think. But to save time, you got to do it, unfortunately. I am going to do this reload, though, because it actually pushes you pretty far out, which is kind of cool. We're going to reload that real quick, and then we're going to be like halfway through that little, I guess, tunnel here, yeah. All right, here's House Beneviento. So at this point, we're going to go in there, and the game wants you to walk through this house very slowly. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what I call just the boost or what have you. But essentially, we're going to make the game think that you're still outside, and we're going to be running at full speed for a moment. So I'm gonna get out here for a second. Now I'm running through the house as if I was outside. The game will catch up with you and be like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that, and we'll slow you down here in a second, but it is just kind of cool that you can save like a bunch of time, and right there the game's like, no. You're going way too fast. You need to slow it down. I really wish there was a way to keep that same running speed through this entire area because it would make it so much faster. And now we're going to I think it's like our 4th basement in this game. I think there's like 15 basements. All right. So from here on out, we're just going through the basement of House Beneviento. And at some point soon, we're going to actually lose all of our weapons, and we're going to have to figure out how to get out of this place. So it's essentially like one big escape room type deal. There's Angie sitting there with the flask that we want and we clearly need. Thankfully, though, everything in this part is pretty static. No matter what difficulty you play on, it's always the same.
What?
This code is always 052911.
Where's my gun?
We're gonna go here. We're gonna remove this arm so we can get a key. Or I'm sorry, that's a leg, not an arm. Apologies. Gonna get this winding key. And off to another puzzle. Again, again, your running speed is just like cut in half at this part. All right, let's see how efficiently I can do this puzzle here.
Why is this here?
Okay, here we go. That was pretty good. That was okay. Now we're gonna get the tweezers so we can open up another part of that mannequin that's on the table. We're gonna make our way back to that room. And this puzzle, I guess this interaction always makes me kind of nervous because if you like move your camera barely, Ethan will want to interact with a different part of the head, like the eye, or God forbid, like this area. Because if you do that lower area, Ethan will literally stare at it for 10 seconds, and you can't do anything. You have to just stare at it, and Ethan's just like, "Hey, I can't do anything on this item. Sorry." And just stares at it, and you literally will lose like 10 seconds. And it's so easy to just accidentally look to the left too much. So again, not a lot going on at this part of the run. However, like on a run, it's so easy to just lose a bunch of time because of just a silly little mishap you do. All right, we got a piece of film. We're gonna put that in here. Combination's always the same. Thankfully, though, we're about halfway done with this already. But if you know anything about this area, you know what's about to happen. And if you haven't seen a speedrun of it before, you're in for a treat because we do something really cool here. You know, this thing does take a million years, it feels like. All right, cool. And now at this point, we're going further in to this basement. Grab a couple more key items here. Grab these scissors, use these scissors right here, convenient. Okay, so we're gonna go through this next door. We're gonna ignore the phone also, we don't care. Look to the bottom right because Mia's gonna be skating. She's literally skating, and I don't think Capcom thought you were gonna run up to that and look at her. But yeah, literally like, it's like she's wearing heelys. She just skates across the floor, it's great. Grab this item real quick. Now do one of our last puzzles here. Two to the left and then one to the right. Now the game's gonna make us crawl down this gross, scary cellar. Climb down this well to get a key. And then that's when you're gonna notice some changes when we get back up. I do feel like this game, or like Capcom saw PT and they were like, okay, here's our version of PT. Like it has to be, it has to be. Okay, so now that we hear that, we'll go back up here now. There's another checkpoint reload here. I don't really think you need to do it because it will literally move you up like half a step. And that's okay. We don't want that right now. We want to get out of here. Once I hear the baby can turn, I can turn around now. So essentially now also you're kind of at a race against the baby. Because if he catches up to where you want to go, you're not going to be able to interact with items, with the items that you need to efficiently. So we're just going to go exactly where we need to go, and then we can basically beat the baby anywhere we have to be. Okay. Here, we're gonna grab this. You can actually grab this item from like 10 million feet away also, it's kind of funny. Like, I am way far away from this, and I can still interact with it. Back through here, we're gonna use that item we just got on this door so we can get through it. Here comes the baby. We're not going to worry about it, though. There's Angie down there. Okay. Now we have one more item to get before we get out of this basement. We have to get the fuse so we can get the elevator to work again. So, get the fuse. We're going to walk around the dark for a second. That was okay. Now, this game wants us to hide. We're not doing that. We don't have to do that because of this. So we're gonna run up, There's the baby. The game wants us to run back to that bedroom and hide. No way. We ain't doing that. We're going to stand right here. Turn around. Go to 30 FPS. And guess what? The baby's blind in 30 FPS. Bye-bye. So now we just bypass that baby. And we can get the heck out of here. Oh, I just didn't want to do that. That's first. Now we're going back to the elevator. We have the fuse. We can get out of here. And then comes a horror game with hide and seek in it. And we just wait here for a moment. And of course, because the game builds tension and horror well, I can't get in the elevator. The baby's coming. What am I to do? For whatever reason, the baby just stopped moving until the elevator door opened, which is nice of him. So, yeah. So, that's the basement of a House Beneviento. So, not a lot going on, but, you know, I always kind of explain that this is RE8's version of Guest House, is that basically. Now we're out of here. Now we're going to basically have it's not even a boss fight. It's more of just like a set piece. But you basically play hide and seek with Angie, and then that's the rest of the area. So, all right. So now at this point, Angie's always going to start in the same spot. She's always going to be upstairs. We're going to go up there first. And after that, there's some RNG involved, but she's always going to be up here when you first start this segment. Again, his poor hands, no matter what, Capcom just likes to punish Ethan. Okay, at this point, she's going to be in one of two spots, so it's hopefully she's in the good spot. And we'll know pretty quick. You can see her if she's in the good spot, so if you don't see her, you know she's in the bad spot. All right, what do we got? She is in the good spot. Cool, so that means that if we hear her, if I hear her in my right headphone when she talks right now, then we know we have the best RNG. Which I believe we did. Can already hear it on my end. Cool, that's the best RNG you can get. So that's cool. So that's House Beneviento. If she's not there, she's at the other end of the house and you lose like, not much, it's like 5 seconds. Oh no, if you have worst RNG, it's like 8 seconds. But it kind of differs depending on like what you got in phase 1 or phase 2, excuse me. But yeah, not much to that section. It's always the same on every difficulty. But so now that we're done with that section and we're gonna get our next flask, we'll make our way to Moreau's area, which then you'll start seeing the more Village of Shadows type stuff. Yet unfortunately, this is always the same on any difficulty. Yeah, we're out of there now. So we killed Donna, who was disguising herself as Angie, and we broke the hallucination like that. So we got our second flask, and we're out of here. Back in the elevator. We have to head back to the main hub where the Duke is. Again, I could do the little like pause buffering here, but there's no point. It would just make it a little bit longer for like an RTA standpoint. But again, I think it's smart game design that they hid these loads in elevators. That way you're not just staring at a loading screen. I personally think it's a good idea. Not ruin someone's immersion. All right, cool. So we're out of here now, and hopefully I'm going to get some extra shotgun shells from these next couple boxes. We'll see, though. I didn't have anything extra after Lady D. I had one, but I used it for that lichen. So we're out here. Pistol, okay. Well, not prefer, but I'll take it. Gonna grab a 9, another lockpick, and then our new shotgun. Bypass these enemies. They don't really mean anything. Now we're going to be crossing a bridge in a second, and there is a slight chance that I get hit with one of these arrows. It's rare, and it's only happened to me twice, I think, since I've been running this, but it is possible. Hopefully they just play nice, they just miss. Okay, some shotgun shells would be nice. Nope. And I have too much pistol ammo now. We're gonna go to 30 FPS to bypass this guy right here. Otherwise you get stuck on him. We're past him now. We're gonna go back to 120. All right, now's our next store, and in my opinion, this is the hardest store in the game to do quickly. Okay, I don't need to do that. Force a habit. Okay, we're gonna sell off everything we have.
Find some quality ingredients.
And our shotgun and our pistol we don't need anymore. We're gonna upgrade the rifle again. Then the shotgun that we got just once. Buy the flash rounds recipe. Grab these mines. Then we're out of here. Not too bad. And we got to move our inventory a little bit. This is where a live inventory would be so much nicer. Yeah, we just put our weapons in the new shortcuts we have, so we can just like switch between our new pistol and our new shotgun. This part though may cause a problem. This Lycan, you want him to just kind of leave you alone after you get tapped by him. There's a chance he doesn't, and then I will possibly be boned. But we'll hope for the best with this little manipulation here. Grab the grenade launcher, grab some explosive rounds. Okay, it sounds like he's still there. It's not good. Okay, well the manipulation worked anyway. So basically, if your line's good and you have some good luck, the Lycan just will not pay attention to you. So thankfully, we're past that, no problem. And now we're getting to Moreau's area where all this really gross, nasty green stuff is. Which we will see a lot more of that shortly. Okay. This is the worst elevator. Again, I'm not going to be pause buffering through it, but it is a little bit lengthy. But we will get through it. I'm gonna also put the grenade launcher in my first slot here. And now we can just kind of hang out. And hope you guys are having a good night. And I appreciate you guys being here. I know it's a late one. For me, this is late. Like right now, like legitimately, this is my bedtime. So I am pretty stoked to be doing this right now. That's not sarcasm also, if that came off that way.
Glad to hear.
All right, now we're down to Moreau's area. Yeah, I was just like, I actually had forgotten how late Crypt started. And when you first messaged me,
too, especially.
Yeah, for sure. And you would ask me, and I was like, yeah, man, of course. And then I was like, oh wait, that run's gonna be so late. Oh no, because I get up for work at 6, but it's not a big deal.
Well, you know what the upside of doing the crypt is? Well, for anyone who doesn't know, maybe you're watching right now, if you've been enjoying the run of Village of Shadows, Death Tropes has been pushing for Twitch partner on Twitch, grinding this game a lot more, I believe. So if you are enjoying his run, you should check him out. I believe the link is in chat.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
And hopefully good news.
I hope so, man. I did put in the application a week ago Monday, so I heard that not hearing back right away for a rejection is a good sign, but you know, I've never been partner before, so I don't know. So I'm hoping for the best.
And wishing you the best of luck.
Thanks, man. But all right, so we are getting through Moreau's area. He, in case you guys missed it, we basically took the flask from him when he wasn't paying attention. And so he's basically throwing a tantrum now, saying, no, give it back, no, give it back. And he's kind of losing his mind at this point. So we're gonna see what that does to him here in a minute. But yeah, so Moreau's area is pretty simple. Where this area shines for Voss is the boss fight. The Moreau boss fight was probably the hardest boss to learn on this category. So when it all kind of flows and like you start doing his fight and it just feels more natural, it's such a huge like it just feels really good to be able to like put all the pieces together in his fight, and it just comes out so well. So hopefully for showcasing this run, I can absolutely show a decent fight. But yeah, it's just this run feels really good when you like learn all the boss fights, learn all the strats. It's a good time. And while yes, it can be brutal, especially at certain parts of the run. It's really like with enough practice, it's not terrible, but it does take some practice, some dedication for sure. Okay, so we are going to do this checkpoint skip also because it will skip a little bit of waiting animations from Ethan here. And, oh, there we go. Okay. You are supposed to drain the lake, Ethan, as you will find out here in a moment. So yeah, the whole objective of this area is to drain all the water from this area. That's where the exit is. That's what we're gonna do. Now it has to be done with turning windmills and all sorts of other crazy stuff, but that's what we have to do. Because Moreau's area is essentially an obstacle course. There's no enemies in this part of the area. It's just all moving items or moving objects, going through doors, this and that, shooting things so they fall. Like it's just kind of a shooting range kind of deal. Nice shot, Ethan. Okay, so at this point, if we stop moving when we're on one of these little house things, we will die. So we cannot stop, just keep going. As long as you keep going, you're always gonna be fine. There's never really like any danger unless you stop. This next part coming up though, these bridges can pose a problem if you're not careful. If you don't nail the levers, then the bridge will collapse almost immediately. And then you'll probably get swept away in the water, which means an instant death. So we're gonna pull this lever first. Then we're gonna reload the checkpoint so everything kind of just starts off on an even keel. We're gonna pull this lever, then we're gonna shoot this box because it has some magnum rounds in it, which we need for later. Pull this lever, we're gonna pull this lever, we'll run and by it. Here, over here, magnum rounds. That lever, that lever, that lever, and then we're good to go. Yeah, if you wait on any of those, then the bridge will probably collapse. So it always pays to practice that once or twice when learning it. Funny thing is too, on Voss, oh, actually 1 second, we're gonna hear the famous line. Here it comes. Thanks, Moreau. But so on casual, that setup is a little bit different because you have more time with the levers. When I was first learning this category, I've been so used to doing the casual run, I had a hard time grasping the levers, which is kind of silly considering they're not hard. But even changing a little thing on a run, especially when you're doing a run as like formidable and as like as scary to learn as Voss can be when you're first starting out. Ooh, nice. It was actually just like the learning curve of that was insane, to be honest. Just like the little things overall. Not to mention the boss fights, as stated previously. Yeah, we're actually almost done with this area now. So Ethan is gonna make a little dad joke here.
Caught myself a big one.
Thanks, Ethan. Okay, we're gonna do that. Climb up here. We're gonna shoot this lock. And then hopefully we get another extra grenade round. We did get one earlier, which is really nice for the Moreau fight. Over here. And take some extra shotgun shells, which is also nice. It's pretty good. Good ammo drops in this area. You have to interact with that and make that text pop up before you can put this lever in. It makes no sense, but it is what it is. Yeah, wow, yeah, extra shotgun shells. This is pretty not bad. Grab these. Make sure all our ammo's reloaded for this fight coming up. And then this part always gets me because it looks like Ethan is absolutely eaten by Moreau, but for whatever reason, I mean plot armor, for whatever reason besides that, it just doesn't happen. Like, look. How is he not just like completely engulfed by Moreau's mouth at that point? It's insane to me. This checkpoint reload is actually pretty cool because it will actually force you to a different part of this area. Not like drastically, but enough to where it's like super noticeable. Like I'm on the windmill basically, and I'm gonna reload this checkpoint. And here I'm like almost back at the place. So definitely do that one if you're like wanting to do any of them. Do one more little puzzle here, and then it's time for the Moreau boss fight. Oh, yeah, interact with the first. Okay. Here we go. And now this is also kind of cool. So if you hold to the right, when you come out of like holding this lever, you'll be able to get out this door a lot faster. And you'll actually be able to squeeze underneath Moreau. Because if you don't, he'll just block you and you have to wait for him basically. But this way, you'll Get a nice shot of inside of Moreau's entire body. It's crazy. And then we're through him. And then if you look to the top right real quick, you see his entire body disappear into the 2 inches of water. But I'm gonna lock in just for this fight, just for a minute. Be right back. It's okay. Make a couple more mines here. Gonna drop all these mines on top of each other. Whew, sorry. Not the best fight, but hey. And cool. All right. Didn't have a whole lot of good damage in the early part of that fight, but still, nonetheless, we're through the Moreau fight, and that is the only fight I ever really kind of panic about during a run. So I'm glad that one's over. So it's pretty okay. Get some extra ammo here. We don't need any more pistol ammo because the game is giving us too much. Get our next part of our key, and now we are off to the Heisenberg area. Well, not quite. We have to do a couple more things first. We have to get our last weapon of the game, which is going to be the Wolfbane, which is this game's magnum. So climb up here. Right. I need a sip of water after that. Pardon me. Yeah, I think as far as learning Voss, that was probably the hardest fight to learn because there's just so much that happens during the entire thing. And it's like very specific shots you have to make or the fight totally changes and Moreau will do a certain attack you don't want, or he'll hit you and put you in, 1 HP and then you're probably gonna die anyways. It's so much. Not to say the other fights aren't super specific also, but for whatever reason, the Moreau fight is just like that was the one that stumped me the most. That one and Lady D actually are the ones that caused me the most issues when I was learning. Everything else wasn't that bad. Believe it or not, Miranda, the last fight in the game, is actually the easiest fight in my opinion. It's very straightforward. But that fight, yeah, for whatever reason, Moreau can just be a pain. But hey, I'm glad things went that way. It went pretty well. I did miss a couple super good what am I looking for? Weak point shots, but it's hard to hit all those all the time. So could have been worse, that's for sure. Gonna grab this. Thank you. This won't attack me. You shouldn't. This one though might. This one can actually just chase you down and hit you, and it's like a 50-50 chance. So he's chasing me already. I can hear him. If he hits me, it's not that big of a deal. And oh wow. Okay. Oh, he tricked me because I thought I heard him leave. Okay, well, he hit me and then decided that I wasn't worth his time. So that's nice. So that's unfortunate because we have one less heal for the stronghold, which is probably the most toxic part of the later game. Our ammo here real quick. I would like more rifle rounds, but I'm not going to worry about it too much quite yet. There are some safety rounds back where we just got the Wolfbane, but I don't need them. At the end of the day, worst comes to worst, I always have boss saves, and then they're always continuable. Like, if the worst should happen, I don't have the ammo, which isn't likely. I'm pretty sure no matter what, you get the right amount of ammo, but I'm not worried about it. No matter what, this run can be finished. Right. Get some rusted scrap there. Okay, I'll have to make one more of those later. What am I missing out of that real quick? Oh, just chem fluid. Okay, that's fine. Because usually I don't. I think I made an extra health drink on accident very early on in the run, so I can't make all 10 of my rounds, but that's fine. I'll get the required item in factory, so I'm not really worried about it. I also have to go into the menu again, which, oh well. Things happen. Grab this rusted scrap. Shoot that. Ooh, move. Move! Very unfortunate. Okay, cool. There's that. Oh wow, we got grenade rounds already. It's actually kind of cool. Okay. Some money there. We're gonna get them off our backs for a minute with that. Now I'm really wanting some extra rifle rounds or some shotgun rounds, which that's pistol rounds. I don't want those at all. Okay, Lycan might jump across. He is, unfortunately. I'm hoping he doesn't stay up there long, because if he does, we're gonna be... Oh wow, you're in a very weird spot. I might get put into danger doing this. You can actually get put into like 1% health while you're pulling a lever, and it's kind of stupid. I've been killed getting off of a lever before. It was absolutely wild. So that's why Stronghold is just such a crazy, crazy area. Okay, this is good RNG though at this point. Okay, we're good to go. All right, so part 1 of Stronghold is done. Gonna rest a little bit easy for a moment. Okay, let's do this pipe bomb pickup so I don't embarrass myself. Okay, cool. We're gonna do this checkpoint reload because it actually will change how the Lycans behave from what I understand. So I'd rather not risk it and just do the reload.
This must be their
This part's kind of goofy looking because it looks like this guy's gonna push you off and he doesn't, he just doesn't care, so, excuse me. Oh, that's odd. There's usually Lycans that fall down that spot. Oh, wow. So this can happen. The game actually glitches out the enemies in this area. So I've seen it happen in the area prior, but never this specific one. This is really funny. That's crazy. Are they all gonna fall down from here too?
Okay, big guy.
Just the one. Wow. That's crazy. How fun. Do I have more ammo than that? We'll see. I don't think that'd be a problem though. Getting to our next boss fight, which is the Arias fight. Arias is the big enemy, the big giant Lycan with the hammer and the white hair. It's basically Santa Claus, but a Lycan. Looks just the same. Grab this health here. Grab this other ammo. We're gonna make sure our grenade's good. That's good. Oh, okay, let's switch that. Oh, whoops, and I forgot to do that. Oops, that would have been bad. Okay, let's go. Ah, so that's a thing too, I guess. Okay, so Arias doesn't even spawn if that happens. That's crazy. That is a first that I've ever seen that. That's wild. All right, well, hopefully it doesn't happen again when you do the checkpoint reload. That's insane. Never had a boss fight just despawn before. There we go. There he is, guys.
That's not good.
Don't do the thing, please. He did the thing. Okay, I have to redo this fight. That's unfortunate. Not sure why he did that, but that's fine. He just embarrassed me. It's all good. So my fight was fine, except he did this thing where he doesn't go up and grab the pillar that he's supposed to do, but it's not a big deal. Oh well.
That's not good.
Grab the pillar this time, please. I'm begging you. Dude. I don't know what he's doing. If he doesn't do it this time, then I'm not sure, and I'm just gonna have to like brute force it. But that's very strange that he's not grabbing that pillar. Very odd, very strange.
That's not good.
I'm sorry. Okay, I don't know what he's doing, guys. I'm sorry. I have no idea what he's doing right now. What is going on with him? That's crazy. Worst case scenario, if he does it again, then I'll just load the save that I have. It's have the same items anyways.
That's not good.
Okay, finally. I'm sorry about that, guys. Not sure why he wasn't cooperating. All right, let's get out of here. I'm sorry about that, guys. That was ridiculous. Okay. Grab these treasures real quick. We are done with that area. That was so silly. Yeah, I've never had him just flat out disappear before like that. Maybe that messed him up or something, I'm not sure. But anyways, we're through that. That set us back not too long. But we're getting to our one of our final areas of the game, actually, too. Because we have factory, then we have two smaller sections after that, and that's it. Oh, wow. Having that many like extra shock and grenade rounds is pretty nice for factory too, actually. Get me through, please. Thank you. Okay. They're in favorable spots. Cool. Because those guys will run up to you and just kind of like nudge you around. It's very silly. But okay. Now have all the flasks now. We're going to be putting them all inside of this giant chalice, which is literally called the Giant's Chalice. Go up there. We're just going to mash interact and then click. So we can put them all in very, very efficiently. Okay. And somehow Ethan will just put this in his pocket. Skip this cutscene and then we're on our way. Duke will just sit there and make random noises and talk to Ethan, and Ethan just ignores him. It's the best. We have this little slowdown. Can't do anything about that, unfortunately, because there is a slowdown later, right before the end of the run, that you actually can like bypass with some pause buffering. It's interesting, but that one you just can't. But okay, now we're here. We're gonna be putting this down in this thing. Took it out of my pocket. Cutscene's gonna play. That's gonna show a bridge forming, essentially. A bridge from this area to Heisenberg's area. We're gonna skip that. Now we're going down here. We're gonna make sure all our ammo is accounted for. We have our right grenades loaded because we have regular grenades and we have flash grenades, which we use a lot of flash grenades in the factory. We're not gonna worry about rifle rounds. Shotgun round. See, we want 27 shotgun shells by the time we get to Heisenberg. So hopefully we get some. Hopefully we get at least 17. If we get 17, then we'll be fine because you can buy 10 more from the Duke later on. But having enough before having to do that saves you money and time. So I'm hoping we don't have to buy any more. But okay. So we're gonna get to Heisenberg's factory, and long story short, Heisenberg wants to join up with Ethan to fight off Miranda and use Rose to do it. And obviously, because Ethan's a good dad, he's not gonna just do that. But it's very interesting how Heisenberg wants to like use him and like be on his team. And I really wish we could have gotten some kind of a what if scenario with that, because I feel like it would have been pretty interesting, because this whole area, Heisenberg's whole area is designed to making an army for fighting Miranda. So that would have been cool to see. But anyway, so Ethan got tossed down a hole because he basically told Heisenberg no. Now I'm going to be chased by this thing called the Sturm, which is a massive problem. Big fan guy. So I'm going to run from him. I'm going to run through this enemy. And then I'm going to make a scary dodge here. I'm just kidding. The dodge is not scary. It's literally just running to the left. And he'll never, ever hit you. And then Ethan landing like this, his legs would have just been not great afterwards, I don't think. I don't think he'd be able to get up and just walk freely. Okay, so here, grab this other rusted scrap. Grab more scrap like that. And we're gonna start using flash grenades on a lot of enemies coming up. First off, this group right here, just so they don't bother us at all. Shotgun shells. Nope, sniper. That's fine. I'll take them. Not prefer, but I'll take them. So this whole section is about climbing up the factory. So each level has its own set of problems to deal with as well. But for the most part, factory isn't too bad. As long as you don't mess around too much and you like make your dodges correctly, it's not that bad. There is one part that's kind of nerve-wracking, but that'll come in a little bit. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna make that safety save now, just in case. I don't foresee anything happening, but you never know. You never know. We'll just make it for that. That's fine. It only matters because if I die at a certain part, then I won't be able to finish the run. But if I have that save, then I will. So, go to 30 FPS here. Block through him. Go back to 120. chances of dying in that room are not great, but again, I'd rather be prepared than have a bigger problem, you know what I mean? An enemy's not gonna wake up. Ever. Flash these guys. That's an unfortunate RNG with that flash. That's fine. I'll have to go to 30 FPS because of the enemy coming up from there. Which you'll see here in just a second. We're gonna get this. So this whole area is about getting these molds and then creating keys from the molds, basically. So we're gonna come over here real quick though. We're gonna go to 30 FPS because it's actually gonna shoot this enemy further back towards the wall. Like that. And we're gonna go back to 120. The power of 30 FPS in Resident Evil games, I swear, it's unmatched. Go down here. This guy's not going to wake up. I'm just kidding. Of course he's going to wake up. That guy is only there on boss, by the way. He is not there in any other difficulty. We're going to go over here, and then we're actually going to make him de-aggro. We're going to make him go right back to where he was before. There he is. Sleeping again. But he is going to wake up again. Get that. Get that. Okay, we made that save because of this area coming up. Oh, come on. I should have. So we're going to use this lockpick. We're going to open that up. We're not going to grab anything out of it yet. We are going to go through here, though. And this is where it gets kind of dicey for just a moment. Oh, come on. I'd rather be safe than sorry. Nice. Okay, cool. We're good. Because if you die there and then you reload your save or you reload your checkpoint, that key was in use during that checkpoint, so it's not going to be in your inventory anymore, and it doesn't open the lock until after you're like out of this area. I learned that the hard way once, and that was not fun. Okay. Let's see, I need any other type of ammo in the game's like, oh, pistol ammo. Here you go. You know, you have 70 rounds. It's fine. Here's more. Get another mold here. Get the cog mold. Now this enemy's going to attack us from here. Boom. There he is. Now this one we have to kind of be careful on. We're going to come out here to the left, then come down, then pull it. And if you just run right up to it, you're going to have much bigger problems. We're going to shoot that so we can get it on the way back. It's usually just money or something. It's nothing crazy. But still, you have to take up time anyway, so yeah, some money. That's not bad. So you have to wait for the molds to finish, essentially. You got the cog mold. Let's get away before he hits us. Cool. Now comes the first hard part of this area. We're going to go back to our regular grenade rounds. We need this mine. More pistol rounds. I have 77 pistol rounds now.
Such a disappointment.
And we're going to use these grenades to actually open up these doors that have a million lights on them. Otherwise, you have to shoot the lights one by one, and we don't have time for that, especially on boss. Okay, cool. We're going to go to 30 FPS. There's an enemy over here that might hit us if we're not in 30 FPS. That one right there. Now we're past them, so we're going to back to 120. Now this one we're going to shoot from pretty far away. And we don't have to worry about hitting it on the way up.
She locked us away in the village.
We have an extra one. That's kind of good. Go through here, hit that. Some shotgun rounds. Thank you. We already have 9, so that's good. We need a little bit more though.
I'm not like my sibling.
Okay. Here, some more money. Another light door up here. All right. Hopefully this game doesn't do what it did to me yesterday. I had a run on PB pace and I shot that flash at these enemies and it did nothing. It did not make them stun, that's for sure. And they grabbed me. And Serm's actually behind me right now, and it killed my run. So I was not pleased about that for sure. But no matter, we're out of it. Now comes probably, shortly, now comes one of the worst rooms in the entire factory, though. If you played this game or you do the run, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Nice money.
Miranda thinks
I'm also more paranoid about money than ever before in this game because I actually had to run another run on PB pace and I didn't have enough money right before the Stern boss fight. So, oop, more shotgun shells. How many we got now? Okay, we're chilling. Grab that just in case.
I don't give a shit about your family.
Again, I think we're overdoing it with money at this point, but again, for the sake of this run, it's probably not. It's best not to risk it. Okay, I am gonna do this checkpoint reload also because it's easier for me to like shoot my shots here. Okay, this room is not fun. It is called the fan room, and it is not a good time, as you're gonna see in a second. Hopefully we get through it efficiently. Okay, good. Here we go. This is the hardest one right here. This is the hardest shot to make, in my opinion. Oh my gosh, okay. Okay, that was very lucky. So, if that guy had hit me, I would have just reset the room. But not a big deal. We got through it without getting hit. This guy may not hit us. Oh, wow. That's kind of cool. Oh, wow, that's a pickle. Okay, hold on here. I need to go to 30 FPS. That's different. I've never had both of them up here before. That's a first for me. Can you let me through, please? That was very scary. I've never had that happen before. That's crazy. Hello? Oh. I know what happened. Excuse me, guys. I apologize. I was so enamored with what was going on that I forgot to shoot one of them. I've never done that before on a run. Please excuse me. Okay. Okay. There we go. So I was warning, I was like, I feel like I got through this very, very fast. What happened here? Oh, excuse you. Oh, I saved on one though. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Maybe I won't have to make more though. That'd be nice. All right. Now that we've gotten through the worst room in the whole factory though, we're gonna see Ethan's biggest fan now. Okay. Up here. And I present you Ethan's biggest fan. I never said my jokes were good, okay? We have a couple more things to do in factory, and then we're done with factory.
That was close.
We have a little gauntlet of things we have to do real quick, and then we have the Stern boss fight, and then we have the Heisenberg boss fight, which I think is the coolest fight in the whole game. Like, is it a traditional Resident Evil style fight? Absolutely not. But is it just really, really cool and fun? Yes. And the speedrun strat is pretty fun too on boss. It's very specific, as you'll see, but it is a lot of fun. Yeah, I have 12. I need 5 more, and then I can buy the rest. That's not that big of a deal.
If that happens,
If we have 5, we actually might be okay.
for your kid.
Okay. Oh, probably should start using these. Okay, let's get these last shotgun shells from right here. Cool. More money. Grenade. There's that. Our last mold we need. Okay, we have 20 rounds. We can buy 7 and be fun. Because we need 27 for the Heisenberg fight.
Take Rose?
Okay.
I'd like to see you try.
All right, cool. There's this lever. We're gonna waste all of our pistol bullets now because we don't need it anymore. Okay, this game is just haunting me now with how many grenade rounds it's giving me. I'm doing this to clear inventory and to make it so I don't have to sell as many things. And while I'm just waiting for the elevator, why not? Okay. Oh, one more. Oops. There we go. Here we're gonna do our second to last store right now. God, Duke is so crazy looking. All right, cool. And here we are. We're gonna sell all this treasure that we got and sell our handgun. We're going to upgrade the Wolfbane once, and we're going to buy some shotgun shells. We're going to upgrade the Wolfsbane, and then we're going to go through this area. Okay. This area will be fast, but it's kind of dangerous too. Go through here, blow these guys up so we can get them out of our way. They don't die though from grenades, which is crazy. Village of Shadows, everybody. Make you stunned also. He doesn't die from a grenade either. It's fine. Go back to our flash grenades. Come over here. Sneak by this guy. Go around this guy. Put in that mold. We're going to come up here to grab those magnum rounds we unlocked earlier in this area. Right here. We have to wait for that thing anyway, so it just makes sense. We're going to flash this guy. We're gonna wait for the mold. And then I'm gonna be patient for a moment and then flash them there. Because you can run through and do it, but you have a chance of getting hit. At least I do. We flash those guys. We're gonna come up here. And then on our way back to the Duke, we're actually gonna get... Oh, that was not preferred. I did not bait him enough. That was my fault. Dodge these guys. Now we're going to flash this guy, come over here, go to 30 FPS. We're gonna get through him like that, then back to 120. All right, cool. We don't have to make any more flash grenades. That's kind of sweet. Didn't have to use one earlier. All right, cool. So there's that. We're gonna equip our Magnum. Our ammo's looking good. Now we're about to do the Stern boss fight. And then right after that is the Heisenberg fight. Yeah, essentially we have like 4 major things to do, and then the run's done. And as long as this run is, it's kind of flown by, to be honest. At least for me, it has. Okay, through here. Open this up. All right, let's not mess this fight up. If I do, though, it's again this run and this game is very, very very kind about reloads. That one. All right, that's the Sturm fight. Oh, I got up his fire thing. It's fine. He's still dead. Cool. All right, that's Sturm. And let's get out of here. Ethan's crazy. I could not walk on this. Absolutely not. Then we're gonna raise up to here, and then we're gonna get hit with a cutscene, and then another cutscene. Okay, through here, Heisenberg's gonna attack us. Oop. And then in this scene, we're actually gonna meet up with Chris, who's gonna explain some things to us about how, I don't know. There's so much in the you get found out at the end of this game. Essentially, Chris tells you that oh, I didn't kill Mia. Don't worry, and has spent the whole game not telling him what happened to Mia.
Time to fight.
But all right, well, we're back in this now. Not back in this. We're in this machine now. We have a little chainsaw in here. We have a gun, and we also have a cannon that I'm not going to use yet because I just used it a second ago. But now we are on our way to do the Heisenberg boss fight. And again, if you have not seen this game before, you're in for a treat because it is a very, very cool fight. Very specific and tough on boss, but very, very cool. Wait for the phase 2 though. The phase 2 is crazy, and I can't wait to show it to you guys. All right, gonna do it like that, and now I'm gonna do a load here. Here we go. And I'm going to focus up just for a minute for this fight. Good. First stun. We're aiming for all these weak points here. There's a specific rotation that I'm doing to make sure that he, one, stays over there for the most part, and two, we're trying to keep him from doing his special attacks. So far, so good on this fight. And when he does that attack. All right, here we go. Boom, boom. Almost time for him to do a special again. See if we have good rotations here. Nice. Okay, cool. All we have to do is clean it up now. Oh, I don't like when you do that, though. Come on, man. I should have let him come over here a little bit. It's fine. That's phase one, though. You want to usually kill him a little bit further down here because he has to move to a certain spot if he doesn't die at a spot. So it takes a little bit more time, but that's okay. Yeah, you want to come about there. So he does this in this spot. At this point, we're just going to cannon him in the face. All right, everybody. Phase 2 is crazy, okay? You're gonna go nuts. And he's about to say the famous line. Hang on. Say the boulder punching guy. Say the thing. Okay, cool. This is phase 2, chat. I need concentration. I'm not kidding. This is literally the fight for phase 2. He will never hit you. You just spam the shotgun. And that's all you have to do. So. Phase 1's difficulty with being precise does make up for it. But phase 2 is pretty much a joke. And that's Heisenberg. All right. Next, we have the Chris section. I'm gonna grab this extra ammo here. Grab these explosive rounds. Make sure we have the right explosive round equipped because I have made that mistake before by switching the ammo. Now we have this little cutscene where Ethan puts Heisenberg in his place. Boss is a really fun run, though. Again, it does take some work, but it is a good time, and I have really enjoyed running it because I ran casual for a while, and it's fun too. It's a very fun category, especially at like a higher level. The strats are like very, very tight. But boss is something special, dude. Like it's so rewarding to like get some really good boss fights in a run and like learn the fights and like be somewhat proficient at them. It's fun. So if anybody's ever interested in it, it's not horrible. It's just a learning curve for sure. Now we got Heisenberg's old torso treasure thing there. Essentially now a cutscene happens to where Chris is talking to Ethan, and then basically Miranda shows up, and oh no, Miranda, the main villain, was the old lady and Mia and a bunch of other things all at once. And oh no, who saw it coming? Who saw the weird evil witch lady to be evil? But you know, whatever. So now though, we are playing as Chris for this section. And this section is essentially, I would call it Call of Duty with Lycans. It's essentially what it is. But it is a fun part of the run, though, for sure. We're basically just going to run through and we're just going to lob a bunch of grenades at Lycans and whatnot.
But thanks to your recon,
It's a good time.
Couldn't quite believe it when I heard you turn herself into Mia, though. Taking 5 shots to the head's nothing to sneeze at either.
Not super easy, but not overly complicated either. Get this cutscene. We're going to run over here. We're going to hopefully stun this guy. Thank you. He's stunned. We're going to just start lobbing grenades when they jump down. He was very quick. That was interesting. That's fine. Oh, excuse me. All right, we're going to grab these flash grenades. And why not this ammo for sure. Put that in our second slot. We're done with that other gun.
Don't get cocky.
Now we're going to run super, super slow because of all the stuff happening on the screen. Right there. Comes a big Lycan we're going to ignore. Excuse me, sir. Chris, we don't care. Come on. I'm trying to be fast. We're going to do this checkpoint reload real quick. Hi, Chris. Okay. Right through here now. And then this is where it gets kind of fun. Going here, and then we're going to go to 30 FPS right here. And then boop, we're going to run around here. We're going to lob a couple flash grenades. Go back to 120 here. Oh, I don't like when this guy shows up. It's fine. Cool. And that is that section. All right, now we're at the laser part, where we're going to be shooting this big building with all the megamycene on it. This laser 3 different times. And that's 1. We have all these goodies here. Now we're going to shoot a bunch of Lycans while we're waiting. Because there is a little cooldown for that laser, essentially. Wow, that wasn't too bad. Now we're going to hide back here because there's archers over there. Cool. Hello. Bye-bye. Now we're going to run up to the metamycete. Wait here for a second. Wait for that Lycan to jump down. Back to our last flash that we have. Grab some extra goodies just in case. Probably won't need them, but you never know. We're going to jump out this window and then immediately throw our flash. Then we're going to do our last little laser here. There's a chance it doesn't work, and that is not fun when that happens, but looks like it did. We're good to go. Now we're at the end of Chris's section, and we're at the Arias, the next Arias boss fight, which I believe it's Arias Strider. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But essentially, this Arias has been stuck down here for some time. Hence all the stuff. All the roots and whatnot. All right.
I got a tough guy here. I'm gonna need backup.
I'm gonna wait a second. Oop. Oh, shoot him. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Good. That was a decent fight. I just didn't ever load it too early. But that's Arias Strier. All right, cool. All we have to do now is get through Chris's little walking section here, which does not take long. And then we're going to beat the last boss fight of the run. That was a decent fight. That was actually a better fight than I have in my PB. So that's kind of cool. Not the best fight, but better than nothing.
I don't get any of this. How did Miranda even know Rose exists? Some moldy little bird told her, maybe?
We can figure that out later.
Okay.
Focus on the plan.
And this was the source of all this stuff happening in this village, was this thing right here. The Mega Mycete,
I have eyes on Miranda.
which is pretty freaking cool looking.
Keep your distance. Do not move until I give the order.
Okay.
It's too late now, but we really should.
Gotta get through this whole little area. It only takes a few seconds, but he just seems like he runs so slow. Then again, he probably has like 100 pounds of gear on him,
You should have told him.
but still.
Yeah,
Okay.
this must be Miranda's lab.
Miranda's lab has a lot of big reveals about certain Resident Evil things in it. A lot. Can open this up and craziness. Look who's in the cage. The hero of RE7. I'm just kidding. It's Mia. It's fine. Okay, at this point though, so everybody thinks that Ethan is dead. Well, now we're Ethan again, and we're gonna be walking through this icy, snowy, whatever, and he actually comes into contact with Evelyn while he's here. And essentially, slight spoiler warning, but again, RE9 is being released tomorrow night, so whatever. Ethan is not alive. Ethan is basically a man made of mold, and he has basically been dead since the beginning of RE7. So, yeah, which is crazy to think about. Like you've been playing as a dead man essentially for almost 2 entire games.
You know, the funny thing too right now, as far as we know, RE9 isn't even about Ethan. Like,
No, not at all.
Like, the show was fun because 7 and 8 are leading up, obviously, to 9. But in reality, I don't think these games actually have anything to do with RE9. It just
No.
It makes sense.
And I brought RE9 up because I was like, hey, like just because, you know, just to get the story out of the way, like this is, it even says at the end of the game, like this is the father's ending or whatever it is. But yeah, it's just kind of cool that you are playing as like a dead man for the entire duration of 2 games.
Since I know the fight's coming up, for anyone who does want to have maybe before Friday, you have an ultimate gaming session. The games to take a look at are RE2 Leon, RE4, RE6 Leon, and Outbreak. If you want the precursor, those are the 4 games to check out.
Oh yeah, good point.
But also, that is 4 long games in like 2 days. Honestly,
yes.
You can just go in there without knowing too much. You don't have to worry too much.
I was gonna say you can look up like
You're not
the story on YouTube or something
if you haven't already done it.
Yeah. Unless you're a speedrunner, you are not doing that. Okay, so essentially now we just geared up for our final boss fight with Miranda. We upgraded our sniper rifle almost to max. We don't upgrade the reload speed because there's no point to. We upgraded that all the way. Besides that, we bought some more pipe bombs and mines, and we also created some more mines. Yeah, we're all ready to go for this last fight. Let's get this little buffer out of the way. Okay, let's do it. Okay. Pass these little guys here. Make sure all my ammo's good. I don't have the wrong grenade equipped like I have before. We're all set. All right, let's do it.
You fulfilled your purpose, dispose of my false children.
That RNG, of course. Typical.
I assure you I'll provide them with treats. So now you can die.
Load that, please. Okay.
How can you deny?
Why the hell can't you realize Rose is my goddamn kid, not yours.
My it granted me this splendid power.
Yeah, right. All it's done is drive you nuts.
All right, now for the fun part.
Swallowed into the Megamycete for all time. Now, Mr. Winters, I think it's time that...
Yes. The hell I will.
Die. If I combine Rose with a Megamycete, my daughter will be...
All right, now we just have an auto scroller basically, and that's gonna be it. I will say time here very shortly. Decent fight. 1, 2, 3, and then only a few more shots. How did you hit me? And time.
GG.
Oh, thank you. That run takes a lot out of you. I will say that right now. But yeah, everybody, sorry for a couple of the resets we had to do there. The game kind of acted oddly at one point too, with the boss just not spawning and then not doing what he's supposed to do. So that was fun. But besides that, I feel like that run went pretty well. The boss fights were solid. Yeah, it was a great run, and I appreciate you asked me to do this, Ekdice. I've actually been wanting to run this on Crypt for a while, so I definitely appreciate it. Oh man. Yeah, I'll do a couple shout outs if that's cool while this is playing, because it is pretty late. Cool. First off, he found Rose. Awesome. But yeah, I want to shout out just everybody that's involved with GDQ and the hotfixes and whatnot. It's always a good time, and I'm always appreciated whenever I get to come on here. Shout out Captain Ezekiel. Just a phenomenal runner for RE Games, and he put on quite the show, and it's always a good time, so definitely check his stuff out if you haven't yet. And then to just anybody else that runs Resident Evil, Silent Hill, all like the fun, the good horror games, and the bad horror games too, I suppose. But yeah, again, Nick Dice, thanks, man. I always appreciate you having me on here. It's always a good time.
Yeah, thank you for doing the run. Once again, that was Resident Evil Village of Shadows. I believe there is an in-game timer at the end. We'll probably end up saying this in a moment. While we are getting to that, though, I do want to thank Death Tropes again for doing the run.
Thank you.
And as well, if you did enjoy that run, you can find the link in Twitch chat, twitch.tv/deathtropes. What do you have for the IGT there?
Part of it is because you do farm the beginning.
Right, it's like a 15-minute
for no intro
that you end up skipping.
Exactly.
Which I don't remember if we talked much about why we skipped that, but long story short, you walk into a door for like 7 minutes.
Yep. Yeah. No. You literally walk into it for 7 minutes, and then you were like, "Okay, cool, timer's up," and you turn around and a cutscene starts.
Yeah, for those of you who,
and so it's just like
want to watch a walking into a door for maybe Death Tropes will do that on his stream. Maybe he'll walk into a door for 7 minutes for you over there.
It's a fine run, but like just doing it is just like it's such a slosh, man. And that's the only reason why I opted to do no intro, because of like that was the biggest thing was just like walking into that door for 5 to 7 minutes is just not fun for me. So, but yeah, again, if you enjoyed it, yeah, my it's twitch.tv/deathtropes, and do a lot of Silent Hill, do a lot of Resident Evil. I'm obviously going to be doing RE9 a lot of us are going to be playing that game for sure come this weekend. But yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely, and hope you all enjoy that run again. With that though, that has been this episode of Speedruns from the Crypt. It was fun taking a look at the different challenges in the Resident Evil games, and hey, come Friday, or actually I think Thursday, right? I think there's the early release. It's always midnight now. It's always weird. Yeah, as of This week, though, we should be seeing a brand new Resident Evil challenge for many of the horror gamers, which I'm pretty sure we'll end up seeing here at some point as well. Hopefully all did enjoy that, though. I've been your host, Dices. We're here usually every 2 weeks. I think the next show is going to be 3 weeks, remember right, because I think it lines up with the Fran Vitalis event. But we'll be back, I want to say, around then. If you did enjoy the show, I'm your host. I tend to plan all these out, and I talk a lot about how it goes, so hopefully you all did enjoy that. Lastly, just for some cleanup stuff, some announcements. For one, we do have a Discord for the GDQ community. You can type !Discord to find more info on that, and you can stay up to date on all the Hotfix stuff. And as well, thank you for anyone who did, give subs, or cheer bits, as that does support GDQ in the interim. In terms of what's going on for the week, you can tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern for a special Thursday broadcast featuring Do All the Things and Parallel Universe. If you missed out on Crosshair or Speedruns From the Crypt, you can stay tuned as we replay both shows after this. You can also check out a new Twitch channel called twitch.tv/GDQTV, GDQ's 24/7 always on channel, where you can choose your own adventure, watching runs from GDQ's past. Anyway, have a wonderful rest of the day.